Their most recent defeat, an embarrassing 47-10 loss to the Oakland Raiders this past Sunday night. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Chris Collinsworth and folks here in Buffalo. Chris, once again, excited about their Bills, a Bills team that has gone back to the no huddle. We have talked extensively with Jim Kelly and the rest of the offense about this, and the fact is that Kelly is much more comfortable in the no huddle philosophy.
Yeah, at the end of last season, Marv Levy felt that teams had finally caught up with that K-gun offense, so they spent the entire offseason working on the two-back set, going back to the huddle. First two games of the season, it was an absolute flop. So they go back to their regular K-gun offense, and all of a sudden, Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills look like the Buffalo Bills again.
And for the Jets, it has been a horrendous start to the season. Boomer Esiason telling us last night that this is a team in transition, although management does not like to use the dreaded word rebuilding.
They do not indeed, but that's exactly what's going on now with the Jets. Vance Joseph a week ago got his first chance to play in the defensive backfield at the cornerback position. When I say his first chance, I mean first chance ever. He never played it in high school, in college, or the pros, and the Raiders certainly took advantage of him. Today, the rebuilding continues. Everett McIver will get his first start ever at the left tackle position. He'll take over for Matt Willig, and his reward today, he'll be taking on Bruce Smith.
And McIver was asked the other day if he thought Bruce Smith spent the week watching films of him, and McIver said, "You can't watch film of me. There isn't any." In fact, Everett McIver is a guy who's been active for only 3 games in his NFL career, so that is a matchup that we will be keeping an eye on. The Jets have won the toss, and they will receive. The last 2 games, the Jets have committed 7 turnovers. They've scored only 1 touchdown. The only win for the Jets over expansionist Jacksonville. Losses to Miami, to Indianapolis in overtime, in Atlanta, and then last Sunday, the pounding by Oakland. Dexter Carter, Ron Carpenter are back, and Carpenter on the return. Works his way across the 25-yard line. 23-yard return by Carpenter. Took the hit from the first-year man from TCU, Greg Evans. Here's Boomer Esiason out of the field to look at the Jet offensive alignment. There's McIver at the left tackle position. Duffy, Dixon, Hasselrig, Malamala. Quarterback, Esiason, Baxter, and Morrell. Morrell making his second NFL start. Had a good one on Sunday night. Wilson, Corbett, and Mitchell, the receivers. Johnny Mitchell is back in the lineup after the back injury. Missed the last 4 games when they go 2 tight end. The rookie Kyle Brady checks in. And the handoff to Morrell, and he is stacked up. Cornelius Bennett from his inside linebacking position making the stop on Morrell.
Cornelius Bennett now playing the inside linebacker position because of the injury to Mark Maddox. And one of the reasons they love him in there is his ability to run and flow to the football. And right off the bat, they get a big play.
It'll be a second down and 10 at the 25. We are just underway in Buffalo. That is Mitchell in motion. The play fake, Morrell is hit for a loss. Number 90, Phil Hansen coming up from left defensive end to make the tackle. Hansen with Washington and Smith up front. Solid front 3 for this improved Buffalo defense. Bryce Pop, 5 sacks. Marlo Perry will be alternating with Monty Brown. Bennett inside, as we mentioned. Sam Rogers getting the start. This all because of the injury suffered by Maddox. Burris, Jones, Schultz, and Smith in the secondary. The 2 rookies who play well, Turner and Irvin, come in as the extra defensive backs. It's a 3rd and 14 back at the 21. And Esiason able to elude the pressure and completes for the first down to Charles Wilson. That's a 17-yard advance. Charles Wilson, who had a couple of drops last week, acquired just before the start of the season from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This is a play the Jets have not been able to run early in the season simply because they haven't had the protection. Here, beautiful protection allows Boomer to step up, and it takes time for that wide receiver to get into the middle zone, but that time Boomer had the protection.
And a first down at the 39-yard line. Now Brad Baxter is the lone D-back. Baxter, and the Jets not able to get much going on the ground. Bruce Smith involved on that stop. To illustrate how bad it has gone for the Jets, Chris, of the 22 starters today, at least 9 players were either backups or members of other teams when preseason training camp began. That is unbelievable.
And we'll get into it a little bit later, but they let go some awfully good football players on this Jet team. There were some problems, maybe guys that didn't have the right attitude, whatever, but a lot of talent walked out of New York.
It's a second down and 7. The Jets from their 42-yard line. Esiason trying to set up the screen, looking for Crevette. Pressure from Bryce Popp, who has had a major impact on this improved Buffalo defense.
You know, it's interesting talking to Marv Levy yesterday about Bryce Popp. He said that we don't try to go out and sign 14 or 15 different free agents. Our feeling is we want the best. And they think that Bryce Popp was the best free agent that was out there a year ago. They paid him the big bucks, and boy, is he paid off.
And that was a before shot on the ground. Bryce was throwing the goatee. Said that people said he looked too nice a guy. And he's trying to come through with a tougher image. Third down and 7. Esiason couldn't find anyone, and then throws it in the crowd. Intended for Brady, who was covered by the strong safety, Henry Jones.
And Brad Baxter, who's a pretty good blocking back that time, trying to handle Bruce Smith on the play and just got mauled. You're seeing it already, the much improved Buffalo Bills defense, and really Buffalo and Bruce Smith was trying to do a selling job on Bryce Popp yesterday. They're hoping that some of his blockers go over to Bryce Popp because he has all the sacks now.
Brian Hansen back to punt. Jeff Burris followed by a sore hip. Nevertheless, will return punts. The thought was that it would not be Burris. And he lets it bounce out of bounds. And they'll spot it at the 11. 46-yard punt. Will be back in Buffalo in a moment.
Geez, I gotta get to a hardware store.
Building something?
Sink's leaking.
Sink's leaking. Dr. Bernie.
Bernie?
Bernie knows plumbing.
Where does Bernie go?
True Value.
True Value.
Official hardware store of the NFL.
Official?
Official.
True Value, the official hardware store of the NFL.
Yes, it's official.
Get Easy Care flat enamel for $14.99 and this Rubbermaid tote locker for only $18.88.
You got the winning color.
I drive oversized loads.
And I drive the warning vehicle, the flag car.
I've been using Pennzoil for about 17 years.
Most people will trade their car with, 60,000 miles on it. We could have gone through 7 cars.
Right.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
You could say it's been working overtime for us.
Engine problems? Before you try a tune-up, try Gum Out first. The solution could be less than $5.
Come on, move the car. Hey, move the car. Hey, what is wrong with you? Move the...
Well, the Buffalo Bills awaiting along the sideline, not taking the field. They do not want to give the Jets a look at how they will line up. The offensive line of Fina, the rookie, Brown, Hull, who is the mainstay. Ostrowski will alternate with Corbin Lucina and Glenn Parker. Now here come the Bills out with Jim Kelly at quarterback. Herman Thomas is the running back of the K-Gun, the good-looking rookie out of Stanford, Armour, along with Copeland Reed, and the tight end is Johnson. When they go to the two-back set, Derek Holmes, who has been very impressive, a 7th-round pick from Portland State, will come on. First down play, and Kelly throwing short range, incomplete. Intended for either Copeland or Armour. Marcus Turner involved on the coverage. Howard, Casillas, Brock, and Washington up front. Howard moving to the outside. Casillas returning for the second straight game after the back problem. Houston, Lewis, and Marshall, the linebackers, and a look at the secondary. And Vance Joseph will be a target. This time to the ground for Thurman Thomas, who is able to get outside and has a first down. Chased out by the left corner, Aaron Glenn. Thurman coming off a strong game Monday night against Cleveland. Runs for 13.
And Thurman coming right at you. I don't know exactly what happened to the contain on this play. It looked like Wilbur Marshall took a step inside, and that's just too easy. Thurman Thomas now going for his 7th straight 1,000-yard season.
And for Thurman Thomas, his second longest run of the season. Here's Thomas. And he is stopped at the 26 by Mo Lewis. Jets have had big problems against the run, so we may see quite a bit of Thurman Thomas, and for the change of pace, Derek Holmes.
They really have. The Jets have given up at least 100 yards rushing in every game until they played the Raiders last week, and then they gave up 220 just for a change of pace.
Second down and 6 at the 28-yard line. Look out. 74 is Eric Howard, who is on the move, along with Tony Casillas.
74. Encroachment, number 74, defense. 5 yards, second down.
Referee, the veteran Bob McElwee. It'll be a second down and 1.
You know, and Eric Howard wasn't too happy or too excited about going back against this K-gun offense. Of course, as a member of the Giants, he played in the Super Bowl in Tampa, and he said, I was never so tired in my life chasing this offense up and down the field.
And Kelly telling us the team was confused offensively the first 2 games of the season. Thurman Thomas able to find the hole, and it's a Buffalo first down. Victor Green and Aaron Glenn make the stop. Green is in the starting lineup after coming off a couple of strong games.
And really the guy that has given this offensive line a big lift is their rookie, Reuben Brown. There are a lot of people that think he can be one of the best in this league at the left guard position.
And the Bills going with the hurry-up. Reed on the catch, but he coughed it out. Let's see if they had blown it dead. The Jets claiming they have recovered. And apparently they have. Andre Reed with the catch. And then lost it, Wilbur Marshall on the recovery. So it will be Jets ball.
A bizarre play. It looked like Andre Reed made the catch and just went out of bounds. Aaron Glenn just before he got there, however. You know, Andre Reed did such a nice job keeping his feet in bounds, it cost him a play. I don't think he ever stepped out of bounds. Good call by the official. That thing's out of there. Great break for the Jets, who could really use one.
So the Jets with the takeaway, and they start out just inside the Bills' 40-yard line. 5 minutes in. First quarter, no score. Long count by Esiason. Morrell not able to get going. Here at the start, Bennett. On the stop, Cornelius Bennett, who has shifted inside, what with the injury suffered by Mark Maddox, a blow to the Bills. He is out for the season, recovering from knee surgery.
You know, I don't know if it's a blow or not. I'll take Cornelius Bennett, who never wanted to play inside. For years, they've been trying to get him to play inside linebacker, but he wanted to be on the outside. But you take a guy with his sort of speed and ability to chase the football. They used to always run away from him. But you play middle linebacker, you can't run away from him. He can go get the ball on either side.
Well, I think the Bills look at it as a blow because it certainly weakens the backup situation. They're not as strong. And the sack by Bruce Smith, his second of the season. Smith with the first. And we talked with Bruce yesterday after practice about facing Everett McIver, and he said he didn't want to get overconfident. He's been in too many situations where, you know, guys who are unheralded would go up against him for the first time, but Bruce was kind of playing it very low-key.
And that just has to be a mistake from Everett McIver, I hope. I don't think he could possibly be that bad in playing in the league. Looked like he stepped down. They tried to run a naked bootleg, and Bruce Smith has been around the bend a couple of times. He's not going to be fooled by that one.
So the Jets 3rd and 19. Esiason facing pressure. It's tipped. Incomplete. Intended for Beck. And the punting unit will check in.
As it has been all season long, the pressure on Boomer Esiason. Sacked 6 times in the last couple of games. You see Bruce Smith with the arm over move, and Cornelius Bennett now showing the other half of his ability, tipping that ball away at the last moment. He can rush the passer, he can play the run, and excellent in pass defense.
Ryan Hansen will punt from his 37. Burris is back. This has not been a strong area for the Bills. Time was called. Play was
prior to
dead
the
on
snap,
the penalty.
Ball start, number 51, offense. 5 yards, 4th down.
Eddie Mason of the Jets called on the false start.
Now, Marv, think about this from a defensive player standpoint if you're on the Jets. You just get a turnover. The ball was given to this Jet offense on the 39-yard line. They are now punting from the other side of the 50-yard line on the 47. Now you're over there as a defensive bunch and you're saying, whatever. You know, whatever. If you guys, you know, we can go backwards with these guys.
All right, so Hansen will punt once again. Line drive. Here comes Burris. Trying to elude the coverage, could not accelerate. Gets across the 20, a 37-yard punt and a 4-yard return.
Honda presents Great Drive.
This is incredible.
In Super Bowl 25, the Giants desperately wanted to keep the ball away from the Bills' offense. Stay tuned to see how they used ball control to drive to victory.
Would that be paper or plastic? Sir? Sir? Paper? Plastic?
Well, at least you know how to get the groceries home. The always dependable Accord from Honda. Possibly the world's easiest decision.
In the 3rd quarter, the Giants set a Super Bowl record by consuming 9 minutes and 29 seconds during a methodical 14-play drive, which ended in a 1-yard TD run by the game's MVP, Otis Anderson.
Touchdown!
When you have a new reason for wanting the most secure life insurance, talk to the quiet company, Northwestern Mutual Life.
We're all in search of answers. See us for the ones about cars.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Honda, who offers an impressive family of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans. By Northwestern Mutual Life, there are a lot of good reasons for choosing the quiet company. And by Red Dog Beer, bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog.
Buffalo Bills going back to the offense, and for the most part, go to the K-gun. Marv Levy, the head coach of the Bills, told us yesterday that the K-gun got its name from Buffalo's one-time tight end. There he is, Keith McKellar, whose nickname was Killer. Of course, the K-gun from Killer could be explained. Simplified.
Can you write that down for me?
Thurman Thomas has now reached a milestone. Picks up 7 yards, 9,006 career yards rushing. He is the 11th player all time to go over the 9,000 mark.
He also has an extra 1,000 yards, 1,100 to be exact, in postseason, averaging over 4 yards a carry. He's been a sensational player.
And it's Thomas again breaking free. Victor Victor Green forced him out. Thurman Thomas running for 26 yards, and the Bills are running at will against the Jets.
And basically, there's no one over there. Good kick-out block there on the trap, and that's what opened things up for Thurman Thomas. And for the New York Jets, this has been a struggle so far.
And now Derek Holmes replacing Thomas and gets the call. Victor Green on the stop, and we have some extracurricular activity. Justin Armour involved with Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn has been a participant in some feisty activities last couple of games.
You know what, though? I'll take that out of Aaron Glenn. I mean, they've been embarrassed. Last week, their home fans started chanting, "Let's go Raiders, let's go Raiders," in your home ballpark. I don't blame him. I'd be a little upset. Might pick a fight or two myself out there. Now, to me, that's a good sign for the Jets. At least somebody out there cares. At least somebody's in the fight and emotionally involved in the football game.
Setting, personal foul. Number 31 defense, number 81 offense. After the play is over, the play counts.
All right, we'll take another look at it. Chris coming out for some violence here on the field.
These guys, they're just chicken fighting the jam at the line of scrimmage. A little holding there by Aaron Glenn. And now Justin Armour's going to turn around and try and block. And those sorts of things go on. And obviously Aaron Glenn not wanting to take it from the rookie, Justin Armour.
It'll be a 2nd down and 6 when we resume at the Jet 43. We have no score with 7:57 left in this first quarter. The Bills 6 rushes, 63 yards. Here's Holmes. Found the opening. Able to bring it inside the 30. Again, it's Green on the tackle, and Holmes, the 7th-round draft pick out of Portland State, has been so impressive, goes for 16 more.
We talked about Reuben Brown. Watch him come over here on the kick-out block, and that's what's going to set it up for Derek Holmes. Big holes up the middle. I mean, these aren't just little holes. These are like Nebraska Cornhusker kind of holes.
And a first down at the Jet 27-yard line. Holmes with the burst, this time a slant play. And he's stopped by Eric Howard this past Monday night in the win over the Browns. Derek Holmes carried the ball 9 times for 62 yards. Here's it from the crowd as he moves back to the sideline. The Bills feel that Holmes supplies them with the same type of combination they had when Kenneth Davis would come off the bench and be able to accelerate. And they go back to Thomas. Short pickup. Wilber Marshall on the stop. We've been talking about this throughout this first quarter, the amount of rushing yards allowed by the Jets, which has been part of their problems, a host of problems that they faced here in the early going.
We didn't have the nerve to extend that on out. To continue that graph, and it comes out to about 260 for this game.
And this time, Thurman Thomas is stopped. Marvin Washington among several Jets. And it means a field goal opportunity with a 4th down and 2, so the Jets are able to hold. And Steve Christie, who had an adventurous night on Monday, will attempt from 38 yards away. Steve Christie, the most accurate field goal kicker in the game, missing an extra point and a field goal on Monday, but this one is through from 38 of the Bills with a 3-0 lead.
Had a dream the other day. Canines were running the show. It was something.
Bring me the cat.
But if you want to be treated with respect, you gotta treat others with respect.
Roll over.
Whether they get around on 4 legs or 2. Of course, just between us mutts, it was kind of gratifying. Old Jet Smooth, easy to drink. To see the whole world go into the dogs.
Introducing the TL series from Acura. It has all the features of its luxury class competitors at a very competitive price. The Acura TL series Once again, we've taken the concept of luxury in an entirely new direction. See the new, powerful Acura 3.2 TL, now at your Acura dealer.
At Radio Shack.
Last season, the Houston Rockets pulled off the improbable, a second NBA title back-to-back. Now, league MVP Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, Clyde the Glide Drexler, and the two-time defending world champion Rockets blast off to London to face Europe's best. The McDonald's Open, October 21st on NBC.
Steve Christie's been having some trouble getting the ball in the air on his kickoffs, and consequently the Bills cover teams have not been that good. He says it's like hitting a driver off the ground.
Aaron Glenn and Dexter Carter are back. Handled by Carter. Out across the 15. And he's driven out of bounds across the 20-yard line. David White on the stop, 16-yard return by Carter. So the Jets to the offense. Bryce Pump, who's been a major bright spot for the Buffalo Bills. That's one of the better names, I'd have to say, for an athlete, particularly a football player, and we talked about that yesterday with Bryce.
It was just a weird name when I was growing up. Nobody had Pop or Bryce, you know, and I was like, I thought I was just totally different. But, you know, now that I'm playing football, you know, I kind of like it because it's a unique name, and, you know, people, you know, snap, crackle, pop. You know, and it's kind of neat to, you know, to have a name like that.
Oh, from a sportscaster point of view, you love to say the name. Bryce Pump. Wayne Chrebet with a diving catch. Henry Jones on the coverage. So Chrebet with his first reception and is able to move the chains.
And this is what the Jets have to do if they're going to be effective today. The Buffalo Bills are going to play a lot of man coverage on these receivers. They obviously don't have a lot of respect for their ability. But if you can throw on first down, defensive backs seem to be a little more cautious on first down. Give you a little more room. There'll be room for those quick throws.
21st catch of the season for Chrebet, who leads all NFL rookie receivers. First down play. And Esiason goes the other way, but Brady hit the deck as he made the catch. Henry Jones on the coverage. Right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Marv, the Steelers and the Jaguars in Jacksonville, and the Jaguars are on the board. Mark Brunell, 10-yard pass. Cedric Tillman finds the end zone with the extra point. The Jaguars jump on top of the Steelers, 7-0 in the first quarter, Marv.
All right, Greg, second down and 9 back in Buffalo. The Jets from their 34-yard line. Bills with a 3-0 lead on the 38-yard field goal by Christie. 4:15 left in this first quarter. It's to the ground for Morrell, who was able to get a nice hold. Thomas Smith, the right corner, on the stop. Adrian Morrell making only his second NFL start.
It was interesting in talking to Rich Kotite. He really didn't believe much in Adrian Morrell at the beginning of the season. I can remember him telling us for that first game against the Dolphins that he's just kind of a change-up back, a guy that you go in there, maybe get a quick play out of, throwing the football, whatever. But all of a sudden now Adrian Morrell has proven that not only can he make the quick plays, but as Rich Kotite put it last night, he can move piles.
Well, he has taken over the starting job. A lot of more disappointing in the early going. Adrian Morrell did have the rap earlier in his career concerning his blocking ability. It is picked off. Thomas Smith on the interception. And Smith putting on some moves, breaking tackles. Written out of bounds by the right guard from the Hasselring. Thomas Smith with his first interception of the season and returns it 14 yards. So with 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go in this first quarter, the Bills get it back.
Introducing the TL series from Acura. It has all the features of its luxury class competitors at a very competitive price. The Acura TL series. Once again, we've taken the concept of luxury in an entirely new direction. See the new, powerful Acura 3.2 TL, now at your Acura dealer.
Mortgage payments, college tuition, career choices. People can get so lost in their day-to-day concerns that they simply avoid planning for their retirement. Unfortunately, that's life. New York Life has all kinds of life insurance policies to help make sure you enjoy your retirement. We can even help you catch up if you started planning late. That's New York Life, the company you keep.
When you're Barry Sanders, one of the quickest men in the NFL, some days it seems like no one can touch you. No one can catch you. No one can even come close.
Anyway, coming through. Man on a Mickey D's wishing. Sausage McMuffin with egg, 4-minute milers coming through.
Now you can convert $2 into 2 Morning Fresh Sausage McMuffins with egg, or 2 hot, tempting Quarter Pounders with cheese. But the clock's ticking, so hurry.
Hey, look who's here. Hey, Louis Leslie. Slow-mo Joe. Barry Sandberg.
Kurt Russell and Martin Short.
There are no Pirates of the Caribbean.
In the wackiest vacation movie of them all, Captain Ron, NBC Tonight.
Extremely poor execution on the part of the Jet wide receivers. They're going to run this route within about 5 yards of each other, and Thomas Smith was actually covering Charles Wilson on the play. Boomer trying to get it to Gravett, and that's what created the interception. You just can't run patterns like that.
Thurman Thomas getting the call as we resume. Lou Benfatti on the stop. 3 yards for Thomas. 2nd down and 7. 8 carries, 68 yards for Thurman Thomas. Bills with a 3-0 lead. And now Jim Kelly changing the play. And goes right back to Thomas, who's hit for a loss. Marvin Washington from right defensive end. Marv Levy telling us yesterday that yes, the K-gun is back, but it does not mean that they will go with it exclusively. The K-gun means, for the most part, 1 back, 3 wide receivers. The Bills are back to the hurry-up with a very smartly run ball control offense, which is a perfect complement now to the way the defense has been going. Kelly going sideline and incomplete intended for Russell Copeland.
And Marcus Turner that time doing a nice job against Justin Armour. It looked like Jim Kelly tried to get him the ball in the slot, but Turner, who's sort of been the forgotten guy in the secondary here for the New York Jets, they've chosen to go with Vance Joseph, saying that Marcus Turner just too slow to play the cornerback position. Looked pretty quick there.
And with a 4th down and 9, Chris Moore will punt for the first time. Dexter Carter is back. And the fair catch handled by Carter. 35-yard punt by Moore. We have 2 minutes and 1 second remaining in this first quarter, and the Bills with a 3-0 lead. Again, the conversations continue. This time Steve Tasker involved. Reminder, next Saturday, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, NBC Sports will take a look back on what has truly been a year to remember in the world of golf. You can relive all the big moments in the USGA Year in Review next Saturday. Jets starting out from their 12-yard line. Baxter and Morrell are the running backs. Baxter. And a good run by Brad Baxter, tied up by the combination of Bruce Smith and Monty Brown. Bruce Smith back from rotator cuff surgery. And the guy, I have to say, still the prototype for defensive ends around the NFL.
No question about it. He's the best. He plays both the run and the pass awful well. But yeah, let's give a little plug to Everett McIver there that time. He got Bruce Smith turned inside and gave his back a chance to pick up some yards.
Picked up 6. 2nd down and 4 at the 18-yard line. Off the play fake. Esiason is taken down. Bryce Pop with his 6th sack of the season. And a penalty marker is thrown. Bryce Paup signed as a free agent from the Green Bay Packers and certainly hit the jackpot with his new contract.
And that one's going to come back. Looks like an illegal chuck.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 28, defense. 5 yards, automatic first down.
So that wipes out the Bryce Paup sack. Thomas Smith, the right corner, was called on the penalty.
And that was Kyle Brady that time trying to work against Bryce Paup. And, you know, some of the best tackles in the league can't get him blocked. And all of a sudden now Kyle Brady has the assignment. And I mean, that's too easy. I mean, that's not even close.
First down at the 23. We come up on 1 minute left in this opening quarter. 3-0 Bills over the Jets. Esiason completes for a first down out of the 40-yard line, connecting with Wayne Brabett on a 17-yard hookup.
Again, the early down throw when you have the defense looking both run and pass. The Bills are going to play a lot of these zone defenses on early downs. That's the time to try and attack them. I know that Rich Kotite would love to try and establish a running game, and they've run it a little bit. But for the most part, if the Jets are going to have a chance in this one and against this defense, they have to hit those quick passes.
And Boomer, 4 of 8, 47 yards, picked off once. The quarterback, Thomas Smith. Time running down in this first quarter. Morrell to the 47, tripped up by Smith and Brown. And this first quarter will come to a close. So after one here in Buffalo, it's the Bills 3, the Jets nothing.
If you're ever in the hot sun of Pismo Beach, California, and you happen to forget your sunglasses, it's good to know that Mike Wood stocks more than 1,000 pair, none alike, and none more than $10. You can always use some extra cash when you travel, which is why so many people are renting their cars from Alamo. So if you want a great deal on a rental car, just ask Alamo. You could have enough left over to be real cool, even when it's hot.
Yeah, our cabin is pretty remote, and you really have to be able to depend on your tools.
You can bet this guy shops at the National Hardware Sale at Sears.
There's certain things you just can't do without.
You mean like this Craftsman 7.2-volt cordless drill, only $49.99. Or maybe a Craftsman 16-inch chainsaw with case and all of this, just $149.99.
Everything we own is Craftsman.
Everything?
Well, I wouldn't say everything's Craftsman. I mean, the refrigerators can more, you know.
The National Hardware Sale at Sears and Sears Hardware stores.
I got it! Down the Rockies, Coors Light. Down the Rockies, Coors Light. Hey!
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
Down the Rockies, Coors Light.
The 95 World Series, the Breeders' Cup, Super Bowl 30, the NBA Finals, the Olympic Games, all on America's sports leader, NBC.
Welcome back to Buffalo. Marv Albert with Chris Collinsworth. Chris, this is the first time, I'm told, since 1989 that the Jets are wearing all white on the road, trying to change up, trying to turn things around.
Well, why not? They're hanging in there, at least for the first quarter.
3-0. The Bills on top, 38-yard field goal by Christie. That has been it. Second down and 2 for the Jets as the second quarter gets underway, and Morrell has the first down. Monty Brown involved in the stop. So a first down for the Jets. Morrell 6 carries, 22 yards.
And that was some cut that time by Adrian Morrell. Bryce Paup and Phil Hansen were standing right beside each other, shoulder to shoulder, and somehow or another Adrian Morrell just split right between them and got the first down.
This is the 70th meeting all time between these two clubs. It dates back to the old AFL days. Jets won the 2 games last year. Bills had won 12 of the previous 13. Remember last year, Buffalo 7-9. Esiason with a pass way off the mark and should have been picked off. Intended for Wilson, and Kurt Schultz not able to come up with it.
I don't know exactly what Charles Wilson was thinking about on the play. Phil Hansen was knocking Boomer to the deck. Looked like a slant pattern, a post pattern, whatever you want to call it. And Charles Wilson just stopped. Boomer threw the ball, and Hansen knocked him on the head. And then Charles Wilson at the end of the play said, nah, that's far enough, and almost got another interception.
Second down and 10. A drive that began back at the 12-yard line. Let's go with a double tight end, Brady and Mitchell. The swing from Morrell. Trying to cut back, could not. Stopped up the line. Sam Rogers, the outside linebacker in his second year out of Colorado, number 59, making that stop.
It's a good play, too, by Rogers. He got cracked by the wide receiver. Wilson coming down in short motion, threw him away, and still managed to get back out there and make the play on Morrell. Of course, Rogers getting an opportunity to play because of the injury to Maddox, which moved Bennett to the inside linebacker position.
Sam Rogers, a second-round draft pick last season. Third down and 9. Minute and a half gone by. Second quarter. Bruce Smith. They were coming at Esiason, and he is shaken up.
I believe this penalty is going to be on Bruce Smith for jumping off sides. It looked to me either Bruce Smith got the greatest start in the history of the 100-yard dash, or he was offsides. And if he was offsides, this officiating crew carries the burden of getting Boomer Esiason hurt.
False start prior to the snap. Offensive left tackle. Penalty will be declined. Fourth down.
So what happened now? Everett McIver flinches at the left tackle position, and that's, yes, that's what they're calling Everett McIver with some sort of a flinch, and that allowed Bruce Smith to go. But as soon as the flinch occurs, those whistles are starting to blow, or they should be blowing, to protect the quarterback, because otherwise you're just going to get the guy taken out. Marv, did you see? I honestly didn't see the flinch. That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I'd like to take another look at it. What you're saying is that the whistle should have been blown.
Absolutely. I mean, on illegal procedure, and there's Bruce Smith taking a look at Boomer Esiason, and certainly Bruce Smith, the classic guy, and not wanting to see anybody hurt on the football field. But those whistles on an illegal procedure call, they have to start blowing, because Bruce Smith doesn't know better. I mean, he thinks he's got a legal play, so he goes in and sacks the quarterback.
We are going to get another look at it.
I mean, that's just a free shot on the quarterback. Just barely. You could see Everett McIver jump just barely, lean back in the stance a little bit, and that's what allowed Bruce Smith to go. Obviously, the judge back behind the quarterback would not have seen that. It was the line judge that saw it, and maybe you just couldn't hear the whistle in this crowd, and obviously great concern. You hate to see somebody hit on a play that should have been blown dead.
The Jet medical staff huddled around Boomer Esiason, who has taken a pounding right throughout the season. We telecast the game in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, where the Atlanta Falcons were teeing off on Boomer right from the opening kick.
It's not so much the sacks he's been getting, it's just the pounding every game. Just getting hit and hit. And this is what concerns me. When Bruce Smith has that look on his face,
crowd responding because they saw some movement from Boomer Esiason.
Sitting up now.
On the right, that is the Jet trainer, Bob Reese.
Don't forget, because Boomer is left-handed, he took that blow right in the face, may have caught him right underneath the chin strap, which would have been, or should have been, a foul as well if the helmet struck underneath the chin strap. It's tough. You know, you want to experiment. You want to bring in guys that you think. You want to rebuild and bring in an Everett McIver, and Boomer's up. That's good news.
We'll pass on a report as soon as we get it from the sideline as Boomer heads over to the Jet bench, replaced by Bubby Brister. It will be a 3rd down and 14 from the 48. Here comes Brister.
And that should be an illegal blow. Anytime the head makes the initial contact, this should be an illegal blow. You're going to see the contact initiated by the helmet. Should have been a 15-yard penalty. No protection for the quarterback. We might even see Bruce Smith get fined out of that play. We've seen it already this season. That's what they've been telling us they're not going to allow to happen, and that's exactly what happened there.
We have certainly seen fines levied on defensive players during the course of the week from the NFL office, and Brister has it stripped. Recovered by the Bills. Bobby Brister comes on, and on his first play from scrimmage, he is stripped of the ball, recovered by Buffalo.
Brister coming in the game, and I mean, it's a jailbreak. It's just a jailbreak. Really, he ran into his own guy. That time, Brad Baxter, as Bubby tried to step up into the pocket, and the Buffalo Bills have just been living around the quarterback so far in this game.
And the pressure, Chris, from Jim Jeffcoat, a recovery by Phil Hansen. In the Jets' 4 losses, they fumbled the ball 13 times, lost 9 of them. They lead the NFL in fumbles lost. And another. So the Bills first down from the 30-yard line. And here's Thurman Thomas turning the corner. And a short pickup. Run out by Victor Green. The Bills going with the combination of Harwell Gardner and Thurman Thomas for the first time this afternoon. They continue to check out Boomer Esiason, and it looks like they will take him back to the locker room.
That's just so dangerous. It's like getting hit with a sledgehammer. Marv, you know how hard those helmets are. They're like rocks. And to allow the helmet to strike you underneath the chin, it's just dangerous.
Thomas got to make the cut. Met by Washington. And the word now from the Jet bench is that Boomer Esiason suffered a concussion, and it is doubtful that he will return.
Poor officiating on the play. You're supposed to blow that one dead. Guy's not allowed to hit you underneath the chin. That call not made.
3rd down and 6. And Kelly with the short-range pop drop by Thomas. Covered by Vance Joseph, the rookie from Colorado. So Jim Kelly is only 1 of 4 for just 1 yard.
Can't blame Jim Kelly for this one, though. Right in the numbers for Thurman Thomas. He had to turn it up to get a couple of yards, and I'm sure he was thinking up the field before he made the catch.
So Steve Christie will come on the 4th down and 6 to attempt a 44-yard field goal. Earlier he hit from 38. Johnson, the tight end, late to come out of the field, making it 11 men on the field for Buffalo. Here's the kick by Christie, and it is no good. So Christie is now 9 for 11 for the season.
It's easy to see why Ford has had 5 of the 10 top-selling vehicles in America for 6 straight years. Because when you look into a Ford, you'll find innovation, attention to detail, and exceptional value. Qualities that have made Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 18 straight years, and once again made Taurus America's best-selling car. With this kind of success, the next thing you see when you look into a Ford might just be yourself.
computer thinks in color. So how come everything you print comes out black and white? Black and white. The Epson Stylus color printers, starting at $349 for the kind of brilliant color that will let your ideas be heard. You've got to see it in Epson color.
It's gotta be Domino's.
When it's gotta be now, and it's gotta be right, when it's gotta taste great to the very last bite, Domino's Ultimate Deep Dish Pizza. Thick, zesty with cheese melted to the edge. Buy any Ultimate Deep Dish Pizza at menu price and get an order of buffalo wings for $1.99. When you want it right away, it's zesty, fresh, and on the way.
To be an organ and tissue donor, even if you've signed something, you must tell your family now so they can carry out your decision later. Call 1-800-355-SHARE for your free brochure.
Well, Steve Christie's problems continue, and the thought was that he normally has problems only on grass. That's not the case here at Rich Stadium.
Yeah, he told us yesterday that his plant foot was slipping against the Browns, but doesn't slip on AstroTurf. That's his first kick of the year, over 40 yards.
So the Jets with Bubby Brister for the injured Boomer Esiason start from their 33-yard line. Time gets the clean snap, and Morrell with a short pickup. Cornelius Bennett, Sam Rogers combined to make the stop. Well, this past Monday night, as we flash back to the problems of Steve Christie, he attempted this game-winning field goal, and Browns linebacker Pepper Johnson called a timeout just prior to Christie's apparent miss, but that did not count. And Christie, who has certainly been so accurate over the years, gave it a second chance, and this time was able to put it through as the Bills pulled out the win in Cleveland in the final seconds. Trebek not able to hang on.
Yeah, the one interesting side story out of that, Steve Christie said after every kick that he missed, Pepper Johnson came up and had a little chat in his ear, and he said it was only appropriate that Pepper Johnson was the one that called timeout to save me on that last kick.
Extra taunting by Pepper Johnson. 3rd down and 5 at the 38-yard line. 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. The Bills 3, the Jets nothing. Moments ago, Boomer Esiason took a jolting shot from Bruce Smith, and he is back in the Jet locker room after suffering a concussion, and the feeling is he is out the rest of the way. So Bubby Brister has come on. Brister could not find anyone, and Brister is taken down. The free safety, Kurt Scholes, on the tackle.
And if I've had a criticism of Bubby Brister over the years, it's that he abandons the pocket a little too soon. He tries to run, obviously an athletic guy. I thought he had a chance that time to work the ball in over the middle, but had already abandoned the pocket. They are in man coverage. You're seeing the Buffalo Bills really with no respect whatsoever in key situations for the Jet receivers. They're just playing them one-on-one all over the field.
In this 4th and 5, Ryan Hansen will punt to Jeff Burris. Second punt for Hansen, who handles the high snap. Good recovery by Hansen. Here's Burris. Looking for his blockers. Try to direct traffic and then ridden out right near the 30-yard line. 50-yard punt and a 15-yard return.
It's just like a dream you can hold in your hands. Taurus stole your heart once, it'll steal it again.
Ford introduces the all-new Taurus.
It's a dream within reach, and it's you at your best. Taurus, making the dream come true for you. Making the dream come true.
These days, trying to get on top of your financial situation is getting tougher and tougher. What you need is someone with experience and know-how. MetLife can help you get a grip on things and help you make sense of it all. Get Met. It pays.
and then, come on, and then, let's go,
and then, high in the hills with all the greenery, we're pruning the scenery with heavy machinery. We shut down our stores and put up our axes, and then,
Then we relaxes.
with a bush and
Fully brewed for mountains of real beer taste. Non-alcohol Busch NA.
Get back to work.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the all-new Ford Taurus, a look you've never seen from a name you know well. By True Value, the official hardware store of the NFL. By Bud Light, if you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And by McDonald's, have you had your break today?
Go. 10-17 remaining. In the first half, the Bills with a 3-0 lead on the Jets. And the Bills start out from their 28-yard line. And a penalty flag is thrown. Looked to be Lonnie Johnson, the tight end, with Wilber Marshall.
Start, number 84,
and it
offense.
is
5 yards,
the tight end Johnson.
Going back to the sack of Boomer Esiason, if there's movement called, this official right here, as soon as he sees the movement on the offensive lineman, should come running in and waving his arms and protecting the quarterback. That signals to the other official, I'd step in there, protect the quarterback, but by his not doing that, no one knew. And so consequently, Boomer Esiason knocked out of the game.
Boomer 4 of 9, 46 yards, 1 interception, sacked 1 time, and 2 other sacks were called on. It is picked up. Wilber Marshall with his 2nd interception of the season and protecting the football. Jim Kelly is off to a shaky start.
And for the Buffalo Bills, you really have to wonder why they're throwing the ball so much. They were so effective running the football early, and here Wilber Marshall, just sitting in his own defense, is going to receive a gift. It looks like they tried to throw it over his head. I don't think Kelly ever saw him. And Wilber Marshall, a former tight end at the University of Florida, showing a little running ability after the catch.
Yes, he took it for 24 yards, and it gives the Jets a first down at the Buffalo 13-yard line. This reminiscent of Jim Kelly's performance against Carolina when 4-21 in that game.
He is struggling so far.
Crowd getting behind the Bills defensive unit. Opportunity for the Jets. Mitchell in motion. Preston with the handoff. Did not fool anyone. Baxter stopped by the quickness of Bruce Smith.
And to say Everett McIver has his hands full would be a major understatement. Bruce Smith just sort of doing whatever he wants to do. I don't know how bad Matt Willie was in the first few games, but can't be a whole lot worse than that so far.
Everett McIver signed with the Jets as a free agent. He was a practice squad player and dropped 40 pounds, made the roster in his first NFL start here today. 2nd down and 12. Baxter to the outside. Nice moves by Brad Baxter as he's tripped up inside the 5 by the right corner, Thomas Smith.
Nice play calling that time on the part of Rich Kotite. The Bills have been getting their pressure up the field, so this time they trap and kick out against Bryce Popp, and it opens up the lane in there for Brad Baxter.
He is just shy of a first down. 3rd and about a yard. The Jets, incidentally, the only team in the NFL without a rushing touchdown, and a timeout being indicated. So the Jets will talk it over with 8:40 left, first half. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
Wait. Hey, Ted, how you doing? Great. How's the house?
Fantastic. I'm painting the den.
Great. Need any help?
No, thanks, Ted. The hardware guy helped me.
Where'd you go?
True Value.
Isn't that the official hardware store of the NFL?
Why, yes, it is.
That's great.
True Value, the official hardware store of the NFL. Isn't that great?
See you later, Frank.
Oh, okie dokie, Ted.
Get GE Miser Lights, just 39 cents after $1.50 mail-in rebate, or this Rubbermaid trash can, only $9.47.
Jerry, we're about to meet Freddie Fazbear.
Oh, Barry Sanders.
Yeah, you doing, man?
Hey, guys, what's in the bag?
McDonald's juicy quarter pounder with cheese.
2 for $2, Mr. Half-Size Halfback.
Hey, I'll trade you autograph for them.
No way, Mr. Rushmeister.
I'll trade you autograph football. It's not going to happen here, Rocket Toad. Season tickets.
Got him.
Skybox?
Now you can convert $2 into 2 hot, tempting quarter pounders with cheese, or 2 morning fresh sausage McMuffins with egg. But the clock's ticking, so hurry.
And this just in. Superstar running back Barry Sanders is involved in some kind of major trade.
Have you had your break today?
It's easy to see why Ford has had 5 of the 10 top-selling vehicles in America for 6 straight years. Because when you look into a Ford, you'll find innovation, attention to detail, and exceptional value. Qualities that have made Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 18 straight years, and once again made Taurus America's best-selling car. With this kind of success, the next thing you see when you look into a Ford might just be yourself.
Coming up next, Game 2 of an NFL on NBC doubleheader. Dan Marino leads the league's only undefeated team, the Dolphins, against the extraordinary Marshall Faulk and the Colts. Barry Sanders and the Lions host the Cleveland Browns, or the Seahawks collide with the Raiders. The NFL on NBC. Made in America, played in America. Game 2 next.
Buffalo defensive coordinator Wade Phillips, former head coach of the Broncos. Here in Buffalo's taking over the defense from Walt Corey, changing the philosophy, more of an attack-style defense. 3rd down and 1. And forced to the outside. Adrian Morrell could not make the move. Scholes and Jones on the stop.
Obviously, Marv, they watch a lot more film than I do, and they had a plan for their goal line attack and short yardage attack. But with the way that the Bills have been getting penetration and getting up the field to try and run wide against this defense, it's a call I wouldn't have made.
Yes.
How about that?
And Nick Lowry comes on. It's a 4th down and 7. The Jets will try to tie the game from 27 yards away. Lowry 5 of 6 on the season and puts it through. 7:57 left. First half, the Bills and the Jets even at 3.
There's one way to win the Napa 500, and then there's another. At Napa's Pick the Winner sale, where you can register for a chance to win the Napa 500 pace car. While you're here, pick up some great parts and accessories at low prices, like a Napa Power Battery, just $29.99, and Napa Motor Oil for only 89 cents. The Pick the Winner sale, going on now at Napa.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
You can look at other people's landscapes, or you can find your own.
You know, sometimes where the pavement ends is where the world begins.
We only went to 4-star restaurants until we found one with 4 billion stars.
Isn't it amazing how opening one door can open up so many others? Ford Explorer, because the world's too big to be left unexplored.
Must-see TV, NBC. Tonight, on an all-new Mad About You, will Paul and Jamie survive the marriage test?
Do you enjoy spending time with your spouse's family?
I'm going to say yes anyway.
Relive some of their funniest moments.
There's my beautiful bride.
Bite me. You're a little man.
All-new Mad About You, NBC tonight.
Jets and Buffalo tied at 3, just under 8 minutes remaining. In the second quarter, Marv Albert with Chris Collinsworth from Richard Stadium in Buffalo. Don Silvestri kicking away to Holmes and Tyndale. And it's played by Derek Holmes. He's out to the 25. Accelerates across the 35-yard line. A good return by the rookie from Portland State. Marcus Turner made the stop.
The goal line stand here on that 3rd down play. They try to kick out with Carlton Hasselrig. And Adrian Morrell, you can't go outside. There's no help outside. The play is supposed to go inside the kick-out block. And Bubby Brister said, Adrian, you're killing me. You can't go out there. There's nothing there. Just a mistake on the part of the back. Even if you don't get the first down, you can't. There's nothing on the outside.
And Kelly throwing on first down, only a second completion, hooking up with Russell Copeland. Vance Joseph on the stop, and a flag comes flying.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 43 defense. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
That last forearm is the one that got the foul, and Vance Joseph probably taking out a lot of frustration from a week ago when the Raiders lit him up. And well, he doesn't play defense. He doesn't know you're not allowed to do that.
Vance in college was a backup quarterback to Cordell Stewart at Colorado, also a backup running back. He said a couple of Canadian Football League teams had interest in him, but not as a defensive back.
He said he never tackled anybody in his life.
Here's Thurman Thomas. Again, got the big hole. Mo Lewis able to close it up. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel for this update. Greg?
All right, Marv, how many times did you think you'd hear this? The Jaguars have struck again. James Stewart from 6 yards out, his first National Football League touchdown. Jacksonville leads the Steelers 14-0. About 6 minutes to play in the first half, Marv.
Thurman Thomas stopped by the combination of Matt Brock and Eric Howard. And a flag has been thrown against Buffalo.
Illegal use of the hands, hands to the face. Number 60, defense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Well, the right guard, Jerry Ostrowski, called on the penalty. Ostrowski, as we mentioned earlier, rotates with Corbin Lucina at the right guard spot. Kent Hull, the center. Ostrowski and the rookie Brown at the guards. Pina and Parker at the tackles.
And Ostrowski is the better pass blocker of the two, and so when they're running the K-gun, they like to get Ostrowski in the ball game. But this Bills offense, they really need to get something going. It has been a struggle so far, and the Jet defense so much better than what they were a week ago anyway.
Second down and 12. Kelly got the look. Was incomplete. Intended for Thomas, who was covered by Lewis.
And they really aren't putting this secondary and these defensive backs in much man-to-man coverage, just coming out and playing zone. And Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly, they've completed that one a bunch, and already that's twice now they've been unable to hook up in key situations.
The stat line on Kelly, 2 of 7, only 7 yards, and intercepted once. Flag thrown. Kelly can't find anyone, and then able to gun it. The completion to the tight end, Lonnie Johnson, stopped by Wilbur Marshall, but short of a first down.
Looked like one of the Jets were offsides, did not pick up the first down, so you would imagine the Bills here will take this penalty and try again. Although it is a little bit of a difficult decision because that completion put them in field goal range for Steve Christie.
Offside, right defensive tackle. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Well, Bob McElwee not mentioning the number, but it appeared to be Hugh Douglas, the rookie from Central State. There he is, number 99.
Much question about that, but that puts them out of field goal range, so they still need about 5 yards on this play to give Christie a chance.
It's a 3rd and 7 at the 39. And Kelly unloads to Thomas, who slipped, and he is rolled down by contact. Todd Scott, the strong safety on the coverage, so Thurman Thomas some 4 yards short of a first down.
And I believe that you're going to see the Bills going for it here. I don't think they fear this Jet offense. And if you try a 52-yard field goal, yes, they are. You try a 52-yard field goal, you're going to spot it back on the 43 anyway. I think this is a good decision.
It's a 4th and 4. Kelly to the sideline and has a first down with Andre Reed. Aaron Glenn on the tackle along with Victor Green. An 8-yard pickup, and they do pick up the first down. I would think also the confidence level concerning Steve Christie may have turned.
That's a good point. But I don't know that if you're playing the 49ers that you give Steve Young and company the ball in the 43. Right. You know what I mean? So the offense, again, gives the defense a problem.
And a first down to the 28-yard line. The inside handoff for Thomas, running well. Thurman Thomas breaking tackles, gets inside the 15. And we're watching vintage Thurman Thomas. He was being questioned earlier this season, but he has certainly come on in recent weeks.
And really not the fastest guy in the world, but boy, does he know how to set up his blocks. If you watch a lot of football, you saw there that Jerry Ostrowski, the guard, was measuring his man, and Thurman Thomas sort of made a little move to the outside, set up the block, then bam, right back in on the inside, and that's what made the play.
He went for 14 more, 86 yards on 13 carries. Victor Green, who has been one of the bright spots for the Jets, as you can see, is hurting.
The bottom right of your screen, you'll see Victor Green, and he's going to, I don't know, couldn't tell, maybe one of the Bills players stepped on him as he tried to make the tackle.
Victor Green, a couple of weeks ago in Atlanta, had an astounding high number of tackles. He had 17. He has 5 today. He drew the starting assignment at strong safety this afternoon. In the past, he'd been a strong special teams player. Had an excellent preseason and won himself a starting job.
Well, what a surprise that Jacksonville scored. 14-0 over Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay and their good defense making a name for themselves, and boy, all kinds of surprises. Carolina up on Chicago.
How about the Redskins? Vastly improved.
They really are. And Michael Westbrook gives them a weapon out there.
It's been a rough first half physically for the Jets. So Victor Green is being helped off. Boomer Esiason suffering a concussion after taking that powerful shot from Bruce Smith. And it's doubtful as to whether Boomer will return.
You know, injuries have certainly played a part in the struggle for Rich Kotite's squad. Donald Evans out of this game with an ankle. The big blow was Marvin Jones, their inside linebacker, hurting his ankle. Then Kurt Barber. So they've had their share.
It's a first down at the 14-yard line, but draw for Thomas. And able to slash his way inside the 10. Tackled by Glenn. Short of the first down. We're just under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Now 92 yards on 14 carries for Thomas, and the Bills now in a 2nd down and 2.
And Marvin Washington was there, but he just couldn't get out there to make the play. One of the advantages for running this K-gun offense, you wear down those defensive linemen. They're out there playing on rubber legs.
This is the 8th play of the drive. 2nd and 2. The ball at the Jet 6. Audible. And then a timeout taken by Kelly. 4.5 left in this first half. The game tied at 3.
I do coke so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke, so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke, so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke, so I can work longer. Always chasing rainbows.
Another big day for Thurman Thomas in his 8th NFL season out of Oklahoma State. A guy who's run for over 1,000 yards 6 straight years. You can see the average down thus far this season, but he has picked it up with the Monday night game in Cleveland this past week, and off to a terrific start here in the first half.
And if he gets 1 more yard, that will be his first 100-yard rushing day in the past 14 games. So maybe Thurman Thomas now fully over some of the problems that he had physically with the knee, whatever, the season ago.
And Thomas is alone deep back for the 2nd down and 2, and gets the call and a stop at the line. Marvin Washington and Marcus Turner combining on the tackle.
Really, the Bills need to get a touchdown on the board. The Jets have struggled defensively, and you want them going in at halftime a little bit down. You don't want them with an emotional lift going into the half.
3rd and 2. Kelly throwing. Incomplete. Pass intended for Andre Reed, covered by Marcus Turner. Brings up a 4th and 2 and brings on Steve Christie.
Marcus Turner again with the good coverage. The guy that they don't feel comfortable playing in the corner position, but he was all over Andre Reed.
See the numbers on Christie. 1 of 2 thus far. This is from 24 yards away. The angle is to the right. Line drives it right through. And the Bills take a 6-3 lead. So the Jets allowed to hang around here in the first half for 3:58 to go. This is not what the Buffalo Bills expected.
No, and one of the things about playing teams within your division, you come out with the K-gun, and all of a sudden it's been looking good against other teams that you're not used to playing as much, like the Cleveland Browns. But the Jets have seen it. They've practiced against it. They've had experience against this defense, and they've looked very good so far in the first half.
And coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see another outstanding AFC East matchup. The league's only undefeated team, the Miami Dolphins, hosting Marshall Faulk and the Indianapolis Colts. Others will see the Cleveland Browns at the Silverdome going up against Barry Sanders and the Detroit Lions. Check your local listings for the game in your area. 3 minutes and 58 seconds to go in this second quarter. And the Bills with a 6-3 lead on the Jets.
For Jim Vecchiarelli, the defensive coordinator, he has to be thrilled with what he's seen so far. This is a Bills offense that had really been coming on the last couple of weeks, and a defense that, quite frankly, just looked terrible last week against the Raiders. And he's come out with a little more of a cautious game plan here this afternoon, playing zones, not putting quite as much pressure on his corners.
Carter and Glenn are back. And taken by Aaron Glenn. And Aaron Glenn lost control. This is a problem when he was returning punts last season as a rookie. Lost the ball. Recovered by Marlon Kerner. But a flag down.
On the 30-yard line.
Well, the Jets in a break. They're ruling that Glenn was down. And they'll hold on to the ball. Aaron Glenn.
Loba, number 67, on the receiving team during the return. Half the distance to the goal line.
Glenn, as a collegian at Texas A&M, was one of the best punt returners in the nation. Had problems returning punts last year. They took him off. They didn't want it to interfere with his play as a cornerback. And now Rich Kotite trying to slip him in, both in punt returns earlier this season and now on the kick return.
He has the great speed. I thought this was a good call, though, by the officials. It looked like the ball was down. Good call by the officials before it came out. But for Aaron Glenn, with all that great speed, you have to get him in there. But obviously, you have to hold on to the football, too.
Well, the Jets back at their 12. The Jets have had 6 possessions in this first half for only 59 total yards. They have not been able to get anything going. Jets working now in the bright sunshine here at Rich Stadium. And it's Baxter who is hit down. Stopped by Bruce Smith. Well, Greg Gumbel has another update for us. Let's go to our New York studio. Greg?
All right, Marv, at Minnesota, the Oilers and the Vikings. The Oilers had returned an interception for a touchdown. It was nullified. Then Warren Moon, a 17-yarder to Chris Carter, makes it 17-6 Minnesota with less than 2 minutes to play, Marv.
All right, Greg, it'll be a 2nd down and 10 for the Jets from their 12-yard line. We're approaching 3 minutes left in the half. Bubby Brister at quarterback for the injured Boomer Esiason, in trouble and then throws incomplete. Intended for Johnny Mitchell, covered by the linebacker Cornelius Bennett.
And Bubby Brister got his hat knocked off. He got a little taste of what Boomer Esiason's been going through in the past few weeks, and You need to step up in the pocket that time, and boy, when you step up in the pocket, there's some ugly things happening too.
It's a 3rd and 10 for Bubby Brister and the Jets. Bubby Brister spent 7 years with the Steelers, 2 with the Eagles under Rich Kotite, and played only sparingly prior to today and calls for timeout.
That is their second Guards timeout.
So the Jets with their second timeout with 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Jets have 1 timeout remaining and the Bills with 2 left. Reminder, this Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 on the West Coast, the baseball playoffs advance to Game 1 of the League Championship Series. Regional coverage of Game 1 on Tuesday night. Check your local listings for the game that will be seen in your area.
Well, this is a big 3rd down play. It's almost a point play here for the Buffalo Bills defense. If they can stop the Jets and force them to punt the football, they'll have just under 3 minutes to go. And for Rich Kotite, his guys have hung in there so well defensively. They've really put up a great effort so far in this first half, and you just don't want to see the Bills get the ball back with a chance to add to this lead.
Third and 10 from the 12. Mitchell in motion. And Brister with a bullet. Able to hit the tight end Kyle Brady, but short of the first down. Henry Jones, the strong safety, on the stop.
What a great weapon Henry Jones is to be able to play man coverage the way that he does. It just allows this defense under Wade Phillips to do so many things. And how many passes have we seen from a Jet quarterback in which at the end of the play they're not getting off the ground? I mean, really, almost every single play. And Bubby Brister is going to get him hit at the end of that play. It just happens every snap.
Well, here's Brian Hansen again, fielding a high snap. And a short punt. A hop played by Jeff Burris. And taken down as he moved across the 45-yard line. Eddie Mason on the stop. 45-yard punt, short return of 5 yards. And Buffalo gets it back with 2 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half. Jim Kelly only 4 of 10 for 19 yards. Intercepted once. Did have at least 1 drop.
Really a couple, but that's reminiscent of his game against Carolina in the first half, in which he was 1 for 11 for just 4 yards and also 2 picks in this game. And the
Bills have done it on the ground, led by Thurman Thomas, but have not been able to score a touchdown. Leaping catch by Andre Reed, and the question, was he inbounds? The coverage by Victor Green. The ruling is he was out of bounds. It is incomplete.
If he would have come down inbounds, but for the hit, it will be a completed pass. Well, that's a difficult call with the skills of Andre Reed on the sideline. I'm sure Andre Reed's going to say there's no doubt in my mind I'm coming down inbounds, and I think that but for that hit, he would have gotten it done. They may have just called it an incomplete pass because he did lose control of the football as he was hit.
So it's a second down and 10. And Kelly with the completion to Copeland for a first down. Reed on the tackle. 17-yard hookup. 2 minutes left in the first half.
Its roomy interior can accommodate 3,000 comfortably. It boasts advanced safety features, ergonomically designed control panels, and a superior ventilation system for cleaner air. Announcing Ford Motor Company's state-of-the-art assembly plants. All the enhancements we made for the people in here may be appreciated most by the people in here. Ford. Quality is job one.
Tomorrow's world looks like today's, but it's deceptive. To prepare, stay in school. Then get powerful tools, education, training, and experience from the Air Force. In the Air Force, you'll hold your tomorrow in the palm of your hand. Aim high, Air Force.
Notre Dame football, Major League Baseball, the playoffs and the World Series, the NFL, the Breeders' Cup, the NBA Game of the Week, Super Bowl 30, the PGA Tour, the Olympic Trials, the 1996 Olympic Games. Truly, the year to be on NBC.
Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, a successful combination, one of the great combinations over the years in terms of throwing and receiving in the touchdown department. They have combined for 60 in all, and they are number 4 on the all-time list.
Andre Reed now with 2 catches today. He needs just 3 more for 700 in his career. There's some doubt as whether or not he'll be back next year with the Buffalo Bills. He's not too happy with his contract situation.
He says he wants to explore the market, but he said it will not affect his play. Here's an end around, and it's Reed. Andre Reed hit out of bounds, but picked up the first down, and a late hit called on the Jets. So the flag thrown. It's a 15-yard advance by Reed, who is shaken up.
Well, that would be a major blow for this Bills offense, and looked like it may have come on a late hit.
Number 21, defense, late hit out of bounds. Half the distance to the goal line, first down.
So Victor Green, who was hurt earlier in this second quarter, back on the field and dishing out the late hit on Andre Reed.
Oh, Marv, and that time Todd Scott pulled his leg, pulling him out of bounds to make the tackle. And then when Victor Green hit him, the other leg planted, and essentially he did a split. Well, that was brutal.
Bill Brooks, veteran receiver out of Boston University, has come on for Andre Reed. It's a first and goal at the 10-yard line. Here's Thurman Thomas, not able to find the running room, and he's hit for a loss. Hugh Douglas with the wraps on Thurman Thomas. You can see the Jets wearing the DS patches on their uniforms in memory of their former general manager, Dick Steinberg, who died last week after a 9-month bout with stomach cancer. Thomas, the short pickup shot by Marvin Washington.
Fans not liking that play call at all. They need to see touchdowns, and it would definitely be a moral victory for this Jet defense to hold the Bills to just 3 points.
Just under a minute to go in this first half. It's a 3rd and 11. First sack of the day by the Jets, and it's the rookie Douglas with his 6th of the season.
What a huge year so far for Hugh Douglas, a guy who actually quit football at Central State because Eric Williams, the great tackle from the Dallas Cowboys, was blocking him and embarrassing him on every play. Quit, went home, worked a job for a while, and came back.
Buffalo for an injury in the last 2 minutes. That is their second charged timeout.
And Hugh Douglas has been a force, and now Jim Kelly injured.
This has been a very difficult first half. A moment ago, you saw Andre Reed being helped off. Earlier, Boomer Esiason taking the hard hit from Bruce Smith. And he was helped off the field and then taken back to the locker room after suffering a concussion. And now there's Reed. And now they're checking out Kelly. And in Buffalo's case, in contrast to previous years, fellow by the name of Frank Reich is not around. The backups are Todd Collins and Alex Van Pelt.
You can't see exactly what happened to Jim Kelly, but one possibility, and something that happened to me quite a few times, is when your head smashes into the AstroTurf and you don't have your arms to protect you, you're obviously having to hold on to the football there, and you could see that his head hit first on the AstroTurf. And Marv, they've done what they can to try and make that AstroTurf softer, but it is still like banging your head on a rock. And it's one of the real arguments that players have about playing on the AstroTurf are the blows that you take just from falling down that you simply don't have to take when you're playing on a grass field.
Andre Reed being taken back to the Bills locker room.
And everything's so optimistic in Buffalo when we were here this week, and such high hopes. Jim Kelly on his feet, that's a good sign. And then in this one, your two star players go down and within 3 or 4 plays of each other. I guarantee that's what it was. His head just bouncing off that AstroTurf. If it bounced off a grass field like that, Marv, he would not be coming out of the game.
The crowd responds as Kelly, looking dazed, is ushered back to the Buffalo sideline. Pass on a report on Andre Reed. We get it from the Buffalo locker room. It has been a wicked first half. And now with a 4th and 14, here's Steve Christie to attempt a 32-yarder. 1 of 2 on the day. Puts it through. So the Bills extend to a 9-3 lead.
He's Don Shula, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins and the winningest coach in NFL history.
I've worked with hundreds of NFL players, and the great ones have one thing in common. They all received excellent coaching in high school. I have tremendous respect for high school coaches. They spend their lives teaching young players, providing leadership, and helping them through problems both on and off the field. That's why the NFL created a program to recognize high school coaches for the role they play in developing NFL players. Sal Ciampi of East Islip, New York, is a finalist for the 1995 NFL High School Football Coach of the Year. He was nominated by Boomer Esiason.
I have always emphasized that our team should be like family, everyone pulling together for a common goal. And I've also wanted my football program to be a positive, educational experience.
Congratulations, Coach Ciampi. On behalf of the NFL, I want to thank you and all high school coaches for everything you do for the game of football and the young people who play it.
26 seconds remaining in the first half here in Buffalo. Dexter Carter, Aaron Glenn are back for the kickoff from Steve Christie. Bills now lead 9-3. Jim Kelly still a concern. Andre Reed taken back to the Buffalo locker room. Here's caught in. The ball not loose. Recovered by the Bills again. Tim Tyndale, a backup running back, on the recovery, and the Jets for the second consecutive kickoff have a problem holding on to the football.
And Dexter Carter, the guy signed from the 49ers, they thought was really going to give this Jet kickoff return and punt return team a lift, and he cannot hold on to the football. This is at least 3 fumbles I can remember on the year from Dexter Carter. He's killing this Jet team.
David White with the hit to unleash the ball. He was stripped by White, the second-year man from Nebraska. Jim Kelly trots out of the field. So despite the blow he took to the head a moment ago, he's out there with 21 seconds to go. Buffalo first down at the Jet 15-yard line. And Kelly off the punt. Throws! Touchdown! Bill Brooks wide open. Beating Aaron Glenn. A fumble by Dexter Carter, handing the ball back to Buffalo. Jim Kelly in dramatic fashion, although you have to feel that he is still dazed, able to return to the field and finds a wide-open Bill Brooks for a 15-yard score. And here's Christie for the extra point. So the Bills open it up, and they lead the Jets 16-3.
What a disaster for the Jets. Their defense does the job. You're going in at halftime 9-3. Dexter Carter can't hold on to the football, and then a bugaboo for Aaron Glenn. His whole career, he's had trouble with these stop-and-go moves, and he got burned again. The pump fake by Kelly, and the easy touchdown. We'll see Aaron Glenn bite all over this. He's watching Jim Kelly as you do in a zone defense, and when the pump fake came, Glenn was thinking 6 points the other way, instead gave up 6 for his team. But really the blame for this went on Dexter Carter, who you have to wonder how much longer they continue to give him the chance to return the ball. I mean, at the very least, you have to hold on to it.
And that's why he is there. That there was the thought earlier this season, during preseason, that Dexter Carter would be used more frequently in the backfield, but that has not been the case.
Well, you have to be able to handle your return duties before they trust you with the ball anywhere else.
And Bill Brooks out there lining up in the formation because of the injury suffered by Andre Reed, and for Brooks, his first touchdown of the season. Bill, one of the preferred possession receivers over the years in his career with the Colts, and the last several seasons with the Bills. Bills put it on the ground, picked up by the backup tight end Baxter. We're down to 11 seconds to go in the half. Mark Pike, strong special teams player, on the stop of Fred Baxter. Well, coming up at halftime, the Domino's halftime report. Joe Montana and Mike Ditka will join host Greg Gumbel as they get you caught up on all the scores and highlights of Week 6 in the NFL. And the halftime feature will focus on Miami's Steve Entman. That's the Domino's halftime report right here on NBC as the Jets just run it out. And the Bills hear it from the crowd. An odd first half featuring the running of Thurman Thomas. Jim Kelly not able to get on track, and then throwing that late touchdown pass to Bill Brooks. A host of mistakes by the Jets, and the Bills lead at 16-3. Greg Gumbel on the Domino's Pizza halftime report after this from your local station.
NBC Thursday is the night you come to count on when everything happens.
You may have a gun, you guys!
This week, lifesavers fight the odds. Students become teachers.
It's all yours, Mr. Carter.
And the shock of your life
What's going on?
is anywhere you turn.
No, you're not a mother, are you?
No other show makes every Thursday special.
Carter will do it. He's ready. You're ready.
The night, the show, the one and only ER, all new NBC Thursday.
It's the spectacular every child should see. It's Sesame Street Live's Let's Play School, coming to the Springfield Civic Center October 12th through the 15th. To celebrate, TV22 and Burger King are offering a special weekend vacation giveaway to Sesame Place Theme Park in Pennsylvania. Visit your favorite Western Mass Burger King and register to win this exciting family vacation package. Brought to you by TV22 and Burger King. And don't miss Sesame Street Live October 12th through the 15th at the Springfield Civic Center. Order your tickets today at the Civic Center box office or any Ticketmaster outlet.
Stand by for action.
Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be great and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back, everyone. The doubleheader game most of you will see at 4 o'clock Eastern Time is Indianapolis at Miami. One of the interesting stories in that game is Steve Entman, the former Colt defensive tackle, who was the #1 pick in the '92 draft. Entman endured a series of devastating injuries before being waived by the Colts and picked up by the Dolphins this past summer. Marianne Grabavoy has Steve Entman's story of anguish.
The first blow to Steve Entman's pro career came just 9 games into his rookie season, a torn ligament in his left knee.
Second quarter of the Miami game, my knee popped, and it was all of a sudden, it was like, wow, what's this, an injury? You know, I'm hurt, and I'm getting helped off the field, and this was the first time I'd ever in my life dealt with anything, any kind of, you know, injury where I had to be helped off the field, or, you know, and it was a shock to me.
But torn ligaments happen a lot. Surgery, rehab, and Entman was back on the field for his second season. October 93, Colts versus Cowboys. This time it was the right knee, not 1, but 2 torn ligaments and a blown out tendon. Nothing ordinary this time. This was a career ender.
That one was demoralizing, I guess. It was terrible. I mean, my life was over. I didn't know if I was going to wake up the next morning. I mean, everything I ever wanted to do was done. I mean, it was an injury that was career-ending. Here's 2 freak injuries, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, maybe I'm not quite what I thought I was. You know, I always felt invincible and felt like never could get hurt.
Your knee was shattered. Did you feel that your life was shattered too?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, it was sad to say, but that's kind of what I'd lived for, was football at that point in my life, and that's all I wanted to do.
With the odds stacked dramatically against him, 2 surgeries that included a cadaver ligament, Entman made it back the next season. Nothing short of miraculous, he lined up to play against Seattle, his own hometown team.
When I came back from my second knee, you know, probably the happiest moment of my life. You know, it was kind of picture perfect. Went right and made a play, and, you know, it was real exciting for me.
In that game, he suffered a herniated disc in his neck. 3 games later, the pain would force him out for the rest of the season. In 3 years with the Colts, he would play in only 18 of 48 games.
The Colts and Steve and his representatives were not able to get together on a restructured contract, so as of now, Steve is on waivers.
The Colts issued Entman an ultimatum: take a pay cut, playing incentives tacked on, or walk. Entman chose to walk.
So is it strange sometimes to look in the mirror and see yourself in a Dolphins uniform?
It's a shocker. You know, I still can't get used to it. It's a thing where I just look in the mirror and double take once in a while.
But what's it feel like to be playing a backup role here with the Dolphins?
If I said I enjoyed it, I'd be lying. I hate it, you know, but that's the way it is, you know. I'm, you know, not terribly disappointed in it. Well, okay, I'm terribly disappointed, but that's part of it, you know. I'm never going to cause any conflict about it.
Was there a time where you thought you're never going to get out of this black hole?
Yeah, today. I still feel like I'm in it.
Why?
Things aren't, you know, like they used to be for me. You know, they're not as easy as they used to be.
You're searching.
Definitely.
And not sure when the adversity is going to end.
That's pretty close.
Do you sometimes feel like you're going to fall apart?
Oh, definitely at times. But I keep looking. You try to just look ahead and not look behind. My whole career to this point has just been, you know, basically an emotional roller coaster. Just top of the world, back to the bottom of the world. Kind of just been this emotional thing, you know, up and down, and I'm just wondering when it's going to stop.
Even out.
Even out and just be normal.
Do you know what normal is anymore?
I don't think I've ever known what normal is, but I definitely don't know what normal is right now.
Steve Entman still looking to get some more playing time, but Mike, there has to be a real shot of adrenaline when you get a second chance or even a third chance or fourth in his case.
Well, I think, Greg, the thing he has to realize, this guy is not going to ever be the football player that people thought he was going to be. I mean, really, he was a great player coming out of the University of Washington, but the injuries have set him back tremendously. I think he's fortunate to be in the position he's in. He's with a great football team with a chance to get that Super Bowl ring. That's what counts.
Joe Montana, no stranger to injury during your career. Is there a sudden reality all of a sudden when you get hurt and, you know, maybe you thought you were invincible?
Well, there definitely is, because the thing about him, as Mike alluded to, he was all everything coming out of school, and there was a lot of expectations of him. And here he is, now all of a sudden he's a backup. And mentally, that's very tough on a guy of his caliber, to sit there and have to pat everybody on the back when he's used to being the guy out there performing. So that's the biggest part of adjustment for him, is going to be mentally.
All right, Joe. Many of you will see Steve Entman go up against his former team in our doubleheader game, Indianapolis at Miami. Some of you will see Cleveland at Detroit. Still others will get the Seahawks and the Raiders. And now our NFL on NBC halftime activities continue.
Monday, an all-new Fresh Prince. Yesterday, I went down to the rec center to become a big brother.
You certainly ain't big, and as far as being a brother...
With guest star B.B. King. Then, an all-new In the House. Hey, do you think Austin will make the team?
I think I put my cup on backwards.
All-new comedy, NBC Monday.
A silent killer stalks the ocean. How do you fight what you can't even see? Get
those people out of there.
All new Sequest 2032, NBC Wednesday.
In the beginning, the sisters sat down to their evening meal, but for some, it was their last supper. Then, all hell broke loose. But heaven sent an answer, nonsense. It was such a big hit, the sisters are back with a brand new sequel, Nonsense 2.
Nonsense 2 is coming to Springfield Symphony Hall Friday, October 27th, sponsored by TV22 and Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile. Get tickets today at the Civic Center box office and Ticketmaster.
I got busy signals for an hour last night trying to call you.
Why are you playing hard to get?
I called you 10 times, Mom, and then I had to walk.
When right now, call waiting is so easy to get.
I spent an hour trying to reach you.
And all I got was busy, busy, busy. Call now and get free connection. You'll pay just $2.58 per month in Massachusetts, and you may never miss another call.
You got call waiting. Finally.
9X.
And you say the Bills still aren't doing things quite right, are they, Joe?
Well, they're just not getting the ball in the end zone when they have to. They're getting down in the red zone. They're kicking field goals. And in this league, if you want to win for any length of time, you can't kick field goals and expect to win.
And the Dexter Carter fumble, very, very valuable one for the Bills at the end of the first half. They lead at 16-3. In Dallas, the Cowboys are leading the Green Bay Packers 17-3 early in the third. Troy Aikman is playing in this game. He's thrown a touchdown pass to Jay Novacek for 10 yards. Houston is at Minnesota, where the Vikings are leading the Oilers 17-6. That game has now moved to the second half. Warren Moon up against his team, his former team, for the first time, and a new wrinkle in Houston's offense here. Chris Chandler slips, gets up, finds Frank Wycheck for the first down. Houston consumed 10 minutes on their opening drive, settled for a field goal. It was 6-3 Oilers in the second. Moon over the middle. Look at Chris Carter. Great catch for a Vikings first down, and then Moon to Carter again. They hooked up twice for touchdowns in the first half. That one good for 4 yards, and the Minnesota Vikings are leading it at the break by a score of 17-6. You say the Vikings were a little fortunate in this game, right?
Well, they are. You know, Moon threw an interception for a touchdown. It was called back for roughing the passer. 2 plays later, they go in and score. But that's, you know, it's a break. Then they took advantage of the break. A lot of teams can't do that. But right now, Moon and Carter are just too much for Houston.
The Oilers are 0-3 at home. They are 2-0 on the road, but they're losing this one early in the third, 17-6. At Jacksonville, the Jaguars leading the Pittsburgh Steelers 17-10 in the third quarter. Neil O'Donnell back at quarterback for the Steelers after missing 4 games with a broken little finger on his right hand. But Mark Brunell hooks up with Cedric Tillman here for a 10-yard touchdown pass. 7-0 Jacksonville. Jaguars punt. Pittsburgh's Andre Hastings on the return loses the ball right there. And the Jaguars are on it. That set up James Stewart for 6 yards and a touchdown. Jaguars went up 14-0. The Steelers have just added a field goal, but still trail by a touchdown, 17-10. In Tampa, the Bengals and the Bucks have moved to the second half. Tampa Bay leads Cincinnati by a score of 10-6. Bucks coach Sam Wyche against his former team for the first time ever in the regular season. Trent Dilfer at quarterback. He was knocked out of last week's game with a concussion. Finds Alvin Harper for 49 yards to the Bengal 19-yard line. With the score tied at 3 in the second quarter, Eric Rett finishes off the Tampa drive with a 2-yard touchdown run. That's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Tampa Bay led 10-3 at that point. They now lead it 10-6 early in the second half. At Soldier Field in Chicago, Eric Kramer, 2 touchdown passes. The Bears lead the Panthers 14-13 in the third. And in Philadelphia, they've gone to the second half. The Eagles with a 1-touchdown lead on the Washington Redskins. It's time now for the second half in Orchard Park. We rejoin Marv Albert and Chris Collinsworth.
Craig, of the Buffalo Bills with a late touchdown. Now in front of the New York Jets, 16-3, in what has been a very physical first half. Was early second quarter. Boomer Esiason taking this shot from Bruce Smith, suffering a concussion, and his return is certainly doubtful.
Blow to the head from the helmet. The illegal procedure is what set up the play and gave him the quick jump. And then Andre Reed with one of the ugly plays of the year. You're going to see his left hamstring just get fully extended, and that is the injury.
And the word is that his return is questionable. We saw Jim Kelly also make contact with his helmet on the AstroTurf, and we're told that he suffered a stinger, but obviously Jim O'Reilly was able to come back and throw a touchdown.
Yeah, came right back in and threw a touchdown pass. Strange day as far as statistics are concerned in this one. Really, the passing yards tell the story. Anything that's been done in this game on the ground, and that by the Buffalo Bills. A lot of turnovers, a lot of injuries. Strange first half.
So the Coors Light halftime statistics, and on the return, it is Holmes able to break a couple of tackles along the way. Another good kick return by the rookie Derrick Holmes. This one for 34. His previous one for 33 yards. And now the word that Andre Reed is out the rest of the way because of that pulled hamstring. So Bill Brooks will see much action in this second half. It was Brooks who caught the only touchdown of the first half. And Brooks flanked to the left side. Jim Kelly is still in there.
Does have two backs in, but Thurman Thomas flanked out in the slot.
Running back is Holmes against the call, and he's stopped back behind the line by the left defensive tackle, Tony Casillas. The Buffalo Bills with a record of 3-1. They come off the Monday night impressive victory over the Browns, wins over Carolina, Indianapolis, and Cleveland. They lost their opener in Denver, 22-7, while the Jets had 1 up and 4 down in their previous outing. The embarrassing loss to the Raiders at home this past Sunday night. It's a 2nd and 12. Kelly off the pump. And let's see, was it scooped up? Apparently it was. A little incomplete. The pass intended for Thurman Thomas.
Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas just have not been able to find it so far this afternoon in the passing game. I'm a little surprised that they're staying with this K-gun offense. They've been running the football so successfully. You almost think that they just get it back in that two-back set and try and pound it a little bit, they might have more success.
It's a 3rd and 12. Kelly to the sideline, incomplete. Russell Copeland, the intended receiver, in front of Aaron Glenn. So it is 3 and out, and the punting unit checks in.
Marv, this place is so difficult to throw the football. The wind is always blowing in 100 different directions. When I used to play in Buffalo, literally I would try to not watch the ball until it got right to me because it would move 3 or 4 different times, and it's really very difficult. The only place tougher is Chicago. Chicago, it's impossible to catch the ball.
Very few quarterbacks and receivers would put this as one of their favorite places in the NFL. Dexter Carter, calling for the fair catch, and let's see, was there contact? Apparently, yes. 38-yard punt, and it looks like one of the Bills ran into him.
I believe it was Greg Evans who literally just flew right over the top. Now Dexter Carter, somebody flying right at his head, no problem holding on to the ball.
Interference, number 89, interference with the opportunity to make a catch. Make a fair catch. 15 yards, first down.
Obviously the wrong number. Steve Tasker didn't get there for another couple of seconds. That was Greg Evans who flew over the top.
Yes, Greg, a first-year player out of TCU. So the Jets will start out from their 43-yard line. The Jets with only 63 total yards. Would you believe no yards at all? Second quarter. This is a team that has not scored at all this year in the fourth quarter. Bobby Brister with the out pattern to Wayne Brevet, who runs it out of bounds, covered by Jeff Burris. 3rd catch for Brevet. A couple yards short of a first down. Bubby Brister taking over for the injured Boomer Esiason. It'll be a second down, and they say 4 to go.
Of course, Bubby played with Rich Kotite in Philadelphia, and obviously Rich liking what he saw there and made the decision to bring him over to the Jets.
Bubby Brister started the last 2 games last season for the Eagles for the struggling Randall Cunningham. Penalty flag. Morrell not able to get going, and the Bills have done the job on Adrian Morrell. Phil Hansen with the stop of Morrell. Looked like Sam Rogers jumped.
Number 59, defense. 5 yards, first down.
That is the outside linebacker, number 59, Sam Rogers, on the penalty.
Talking to Wade Phillips yesterday, he said with Sam Rogers, he's a guy who doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's a good athlete. We're just going to have him rush the quarterback. We don't want you doing anything else, Sam. Just go get the quarterback, and then we'll teach you something different next week.
And we keep it any more simplistic.
That's it.
First down at the 45-yard line with a minute 45 gone by in the second quarter. Brister couldn't find anyone. Is taken down, and it is Sam Rogers who was following instructions.
One of the Bills down, Sam Rogers, who came around from the backside and made the hit. Shaken up on the play.
Sam coming up with his first sack of the season. Second time the Bills have gotten to Brister.
Well, when you have simple instructions, you know, just go get the quarterback. And Adrian Morrell with what we used to call the Olay block.
Yeah.
You know, you just sort of Olay and...
Well, we touched on that earlier, that the question concerning Morrell, it may have been the reason that the Jets in the past have spotted him. Morrell has carried only 9 times, 23 yards. It's a second and 12. Brister off the short set, tries the other side, incomplete intended for Morrell. It was covered by Bennett, and it brings up a third and 12.
And for Bubby Brister, and really for both quarterbacks, they're back in the pocket, but they never stop looking down. You know, they're looking at the pass rush, and they're looking at what's happening in front of them because they're getting hit so much. And for Bubby Brister, he has to be able to prove that he can throw the football against his defense before they're ever going to show any respect to the passing game.
Third and 12. Look out. Brister being chased, runs into Smith, able to elude him, and then completes to Crevette, but short of the first down. Marlon Kerner, the rookie from Ohio State, on the stop of Wayne Crevette. It is a 4th down and 4. And Rich Kotite going on the 4th and 4.
Not much choice. This offense hasn't had a lot of opportunities, so why not take a shot?
Well, trailing by 13 points. The Jets going for the first down. And a timeout is called. Looks to be lots of confusion out there.
Really?
Yes. Talking about our truck.
Chevy Blazer, the only sport utility vehicle with the driver control system. It's nice to know it's there.
Domino's presents Gus and the Guy's Guide to the Game.
First of all, you got to be prepared. Adjust seatage so as not to obscure the tube.
Always keep a beverage with an easy grasp.
And don't ever forget
To make the correct call. Exactamundo.
coming through with the ultimate deep dish. Thick and zesty crust. Cheese baked to the edge. Delivered free. Order any deep dish at menu price and get buffalo wings for $1.99.
Gentlemen, let the games begin.
Thanks to Sprint Business, now the world is flat. Introducing flat rate pricing for small businesses on all your long distance, even for Sprint 800 service. Enhanced fax and cellular long distance. One low flat rate for everything all over the country, so you know just what you're paying.
Now that's simple.
Call now for flat rate pricing. 1-800-827-3700. Call Sprint Business.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By New York Life, the company you keep. And by Pennzoil, the motor oil that works like liquid ball bearings.
Very lovely shot fired. Again, the tailgating scene here outside Richard Stadium. It's a 4th down and 4 at the 39. Johnny Mitchell has seen only spot duty today coming back from the lower back problem. Brister unloading for the first down. Completing to Adrian Morrell, who was tackled by the free safety Kurt Scholes. And it is a first down for the Jets.
I like the play call there. The one thing that any defense will have trouble with this Jet offense, they always want to play man-to-man coverage against them because of the weakness at the wide receiver position. But the one guy that's difficult is Adrian Morrell coming out of the backfield against the safety. That's the Jets' best matchup.
And a first down at the Buffalo 33-yard line. This time, Brister's pass over the head of Baxter, who was well covered. Pressure from Bryce Pop. Brister now 4 of 8 for 25 yards. And he is now looking at a 2nd and 10 at the Bills' 33.
And actually on that 4th down play, Bubby got probably his best protection of the day as well. So good overall execution as the Jets keep their hopes alive here. And really, but for that play at the end of the half, the fumble by Carter, maybe looking at a chance to take the lead on this drive.
And this is the 7th play of the drive. Morrell cannot get going, and a flag is thrown. Bryce Pop, who is so quick off the ball, able to make the stop on Adrian Morrell.
It really kind of reminds you now of Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd in Pittsburgh with pressure on both sides of the ball for the Bills.
We have 2 fouls against the defense. 5-yard face mask foul against number 59 and offside defense.
Well, the face mask called on Sam Rogers, according to Bob McElwee. That's Morrell. Yeah, it looked like Henry Jones grabbing the face mask.
You saw Sam Rogers like, I didn't grab anything. It wasn't me. It was Henry Jones that got the face mask.
Offside, defensive end, 95. That penalty is declined. 5-yard face mask foul. From the end of the play, that penalty is accepted.
So the offside on Pop, who was particularly quick off the ball.
Face mask number
declined.
59. 2nd down.
Just refuses to let up on poor Sam Rogers.
It wasn't Rogers, it was Jones, as we mentioned. So a 3rd down and 6 at the 29 in Buffalo territory. 16-3, the Bills over the Jets 4 minutes in this 3rd quarter.
The end of the run was behind the line of scrimmage. The face mask foul will be declined. The offside will be accepted. 5 yards, previous spot, 2nd down.
And Marv Levy's saying you can't do that. They already accepted the other one.
So it is a 2nd down. And let's see where they spot the ball.
They made the wrong decision. Not you.
The ball is at the 28. It's a 2nd and 5. Marv Levy, as all NFL head coaches, always delighted when they can catch the officials making a late change in a fall. And Brister not able to complete. Kyle Brady, the intended receiver.
Just at the time that Brady snapped his head around, the ball was right there. He was trying to work around Monty Brown, the linebacker. And I don't know. It looked like he had his head around and had an opportunity. Just lost it in flight. Very athletic move there by Kyle Brady.
Third down and 5 at the Buffalo 28. Brister eluding the pressure and then completing to Quebec for a first down. Bubby Brister throwing on the run. Finding Prevett, who was dropped by Burris and Kerner. It's good for 12 and a first down.
What a great play here by Bubby Brister. I mean, they got people all over. Bruce Smith took a shot. They got Cornelius Bennett in there. Monty Brown putting pressure on him. He just gets away from all those guys and still keeps his head up the field. Brilliant play there by Bubby Brister, making something out of a bad situation.
And Chris looked like he was checking that he was not past the line of scrimmage. Very close. And has a first down at the 17th. Ninth play of the drive. Morrell able to make the cut. And then stopped by Bennett and Burris. Once again, let's go to Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Marvin, Minnesota, the Oilers have jumped back into it. Watch Warren Moon over the middle, picked off by Chuck Cecil, and watch Cecil's cutback on Moon. 20-yard return for a touchdown. The Oilers converted the 2-point attempt, and they only trail by 3, 17-14 in the third. Marv?
All right, Greg, and back here in Buffalo, the Jets with their most impressive drive, actually their only drive of the day. Second down. The Buffalo 16-yard line. That was intended for Morrell.
That one had a chance. Working against Bryce Pop, that's a major mismatch, and Brister just overthrew that ball. I think Morrell would have taken that one on in. Morrell swinging out of the backfield and got the dream matchup against Bryce Pop, whose weakness, probably his only weakness, is in pass coverage, man-to-man pass coverage. And that time they isolated their quickest back, and Brister just missed it.
It's a 3rd and 9. Double tight end with Brady and Mitchell. Wilson flank to the right. And it's completed to Quebec, who is in for the touchdown. 6th catch of the day for the rookie from Hofstra, Wayne Prevett. It is a 16-yard touchdown play, and Bubby Brister sparking this team here at the start of the third quarter.
The one thing that Bubby Brister gives you is emotion. They came right back with basically the same kind of play, but the wide receiver, Wayne Prevett, running it this time, coming underneath the zone and sticking it in. And all of a sudden now the Jets are right back in this football game.
Bills with a 16-9 lead. Brister 6 of 12, 53 yards, including the touchdown. And here's Nick Lowry for the extra point. .903 left in the third quarter here at Rich Stadium, and the Bills now lead by 6 points. Brister to Prevett for the 6.
Mortgage payments, college tuition, career choices. People can get so lost in their day-to-day concerns that they simply avoid planning for their retirement. Unfortunately, that's life. New York Life has all kinds of life insurance policies to help make sure you enjoy your retirement. We can even help you catch up if you started planning late. That's New York Life, the company you keep.
There was a time when we didn't have a worry in the world. Today, well, we seem to be making up for it. That's why you need Chevy Lumina. A car you can trust. A car so well engineered and affordable, you'd have it paid off long before it needs its first tune-up. Chevy Lumina. Because someday you'll realize nobody's got enough money, and everybody's got enough worries.
Everybody figures that dogs like to chase after things. Well, we do. To a point. But not over and over again.
Come along.
As for me, well, I don't go chasing after nothing that don't have soft hair, big eyes, red dog, bold yet smooth, easy to drink, and a real nice set of
Come here, Daddy.
teeth.
The Lawrence brothers meet football great Terry Bradshaw.
You sure are a little bitty fella.
Used to have a neck.
Brotherly Love tonight.
Don't upstage me, I'll drop you.
On NBC.
Well, 6 catches thus far today for Wayne Chrebet, who was signed as a free agent, the surprise of the Jet camp, and has emerged as a solid player. 26 receptions for the season. He leads NFL rookies in catches. Return by Holmes, who's had a terrific day in the kickoff return department and continues right on. 42-yard return by Holmes.
Go back to the touchdown. You're going to see the tight end right there, Kyle Brady, clear out the defense. Chrebet just going to circle right underneath him. That's what created the vacuum and allowed Chrebet to score. It looked like man coverage, but it really wasn't. They're playing a zone defense and just chasing the tight end, so it wasn't really a case of anybody getting beat. Thomas Smith wasn't beat on the play. He just had the outside zone.
And Kelly starts out from the 44-yard line and is able to complete to Russell Copeland. Russell Copeland is a guy that is not a great speed, but able to make up for it by running precise routes by using his size and his strength.
A lot of pressure on him now because of the fact Andre Reed out of the ball game, and Vance Joseph, that's obviously learning the position. That's not real strong corner play when you get yourself flipped around like that.
18-yard pass play. Here's Thurman Thomas picking his way. This all set up by the beautiful return by Derek Holmes. In fact, the Jet kickoff man, Don Silvestri, had to make that stop on the sideline on Holmes. Thurman Thomas looking to be hurting as he goes over the 100-yard mark. 19 carries, 106 yards. Kelly to the sideline. Russell Copeland, the intended receiver, again covered by Vance Joseph.
And really, the Buffalo Bills now, without Andre Reed, don't have any one of those scare you guys. You know, somebody that can get behind a defense. Copeland, a good receiver, but not that fast. Justin Armour, not a very fast receiver. So you may see this Jets secondary taking a few more chances, creeping up on these wideouts.
It's a 3rd and 2. And on the inside handoff, Thurman Thomas is stopped by Marcus Turner. Lost on the play. And that will bring on a field goal attempt for Steve Christie, who is 3 for 4 on the day. You see he is hit from 38, from 24, from 32. He missed from 44. And this is a 51-yard attempt. The holder, the punter, Chris Moore. And Christie's kick is good. So the Bills extend the lead to 9 points.
You got the winning color.
I run my engine anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day, and that's constant. I've been using Pennzoil a little over 20 years, and Pennzoil has always stood by me. It's never failed me.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
Pennzoil says it works like liquid ball bearings. It must, because it just keeps on rolling.
Engine problems? Before you try a tune-up, try Gum Out first. The solution could be less than $5.
Behr Premium Plus interior paint is made with pure titanium dioxide for cleaner, brighter whites and exceptionally vivid colors. And at the Home Depot, our paint pros will gladly match Behr Premium Plus with anything, except, of course, a premium price.
Bear Premium Plus, exclusively from the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
For those whose idea of luxury is any place they can take a load off, Chevy introduces our all-new interior with the comfort of available leather, the security of an airbag, and the pleasure of power-adjustable lumbar seats. You could say these guys are sitting pretty. We just wouldn't advise it.
Well, that had to feel good for Steve Christie from 51 yards out. That's his longest of the season, his career high, 59, several years back against Miami. And Christie has come back by hitting 4 or 5 here today.
Very good soccer player. That's how he works out in the offseason. Former member of the Canadian Junior World Cup soccer team. Spent a lot of time this offseason. He said it really strengthened his leg.
All right, Carter and Glenn are back. Kickoff returns have been an adventure for the Jets. This time, they do not allow a return. Dexter Carter staying in the end zone. Well, yesterday, the Buffalo Bills unveiled their new $10 million indoor practice facility adjacent to Rich Stadium. State-of-the-art. It's 12 stories high to get things going. The Bills today staging a party for season ticket holders, a party complete with all kinds of contests and a host of other competitive activities. And Chris, nice to see Paul McGuire getting some honest work going during the course of the week.
Well, there's a lot of lag time between games. You've got to do something.
And the Jets open up at the 20-yard line. 7:09 left in the third quarter. Bills with a 19-10 lead on the Jets. Bubby Brister engineering the good drive. Last time downfield, and this one intended for Charles Wilson. Covered by Thomas Smith.
Oh, nice looking coverage that time by Thomas Smith. Wilson going for a stop-and-go move, and Smith just all over it. No place for Bubby Brister to throw that football. Bubby may have hit his hand at the end of this play. One of the dangers, boy, a lot of those times they smack that thumb, and it's tough to grip the football next time around. They see a run play here if it goes out.
Second down and 10. That's Quebec in motion. And they go to the run. Morrell is stopped at the line. The Jets accounted for only 63 total yards in the first half. And on their first drive of the third quarter, which led to the touchdown, they went 57 yards. So they nearly matched their complete total in that first half. They now look at a third down and 11 at the 19.
But the one thing the Jets are doing today is they're competing. That was the thing that bothered Rich Kotite in that Raider game. He just didn't feel like they went out and competed the way that they should.
Telling us last night, no intensity, and that is what concerned him most. And Brister able to complete to Morrell. Let's see, was it apparently knocked out of his hands? Looked like he had it, and then Henry Jones got a piece of it. And now they say, yes, it is a completed pass.
And Mark, once again, you see the matchup. Anytime they can get Morrell matched up in man coverage against one of the safeties, this time the better cover safety, Henry Jones, it's a mismatch. This is the one weapon that they have, and no question about it. Got both feet down inbounds, and a big play for the Jets, and Bubby Brister now getting something going with this offense.
28-yard hookup. Brister to Morrell. Bubby 5 out of 6 in third down situations. Brister's passed a bullet that is caught at the 45-yard line by Johnny Mitchell. So for Mitchell, his first reception of the day, he was tied up by Henry Jones.
He has been out for almost a month with a bad back, and he is one of the big play guys, probably one of only 2 big play guys on this Jet offense, working against Henry Jones, and all of a sudden a little life. Johnny Mitchell has had trouble staying on the field, though. That has always been the knock on him.
Got a bad back. Kyle Brady, the rookie tight end, a question mark with a twinge in his lower back, although he has been in there from the start. It's a 2nd and 3. Morrell short of the first down, taken down by Bryce Popp. We are just under 5 minutes to go.
And you have to believe that for the Jets and Rich Kotite, we're in 4-down territory again. So Rich's feeling may be that you have 3rd down and about 2. Go ahead and run it twice here and just be willing to take your chances. Offensively, this is the most life they've shown in some time now.
And the Jets have not been able to succeed in 3rd and short on 2 occasions. It's 3rd and about 1.5 yards. And Brister off the roll, backs it up, looking, throwing, and has a first down. Combining with the tight end, Will Baxter, and Bobby Brister is putting on a show here in the 3rd quarter.
Looking like Sir Francis Tarkington out here in this ball game. They had a naked bootleg. Henry Jones not fooled. He had Kyle Brady completely covered. So here goes Bobby to let the show begin. Turns around and finds the other tight end, Fred Baxter, for a huge first down.
And the numbers on Brister, 9 of 16, 92 yards, 1 touchdown, completing with Wayne Prevett. Brister taking over for the injured Boomer Esiason, who was hit hard by Bruce Smith, suffering a concussion earlier today. Here's Morrell, and Morrell with a first down inside the 25-yard line. Cornelius Bennett on the stop, and offensively, these last 2 series, it is all clicking for the Jets.
Really some nice movement now by the offensive line, and a great cut by Morrell. A couple of years ago, Morrell may have tried to bounce this one outside. This time the cut inside the safety and picks up about an extra 4 or 5 yards. Impressive looking drive now for the Jets.
Well, prior to the game against the Raiders, Rich Kotite went to Adrian Morrell and told him, hey, you're starting also next week. Don't try to do anything extra on every play. You don't have to score a touchdown. Trying to give him a feel of security that he'd be in there no matter what happens. Again, Brister with the completion to Prevett. Try to put a move on and drop at the 21 by the left corner. Jeff Burns. So he picked up 3. It'll be a second down, about 6.
The Dallas Cowboys look like they're back under control. Houston has a good defense too, Marv. A lot of people now talking about the Houston team in Jacksonville. And they holding on against the Bengals.
Second down and 6. 2.5 left, 3rd quarter. Bills with a 19-10 lead on the Jets. Penalty flags come flying. Morrell to the outside. And then he is stopped at the 17 by Burris. But a flag is down.
There's a flag on play.
And the offside against the Bills.
Offside, number 78, defense. 5 yards, 2nd down.
Bruce Smith likes to get that quick jump. Sometimes too quick. Really on both sides of the ball, they got Bryce Popp leaning a little forward too.
It'll be a 2nd down and 1. The Jets began this drive at their own 20 off the kickoff that sailed into the end zone. It's the 9th play of the drive. Morrell trying to pull away, could not. Hit for a loss. Phil Hansen with the low tackle on Adrian Morrell.
Phil Hansen, just one of those blue-collar kind of guys, and everybody pays attention to Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith, Bryce Popp now. But you're talking about 2 very good run players inside now for the Buffalo Bills. Both Phil Hansen and Ted Washington has made this team much more solid against the run than they were a season ago.
3rd down and 3 at the Buffalo 17. 84, Baxter in motion. And Brister looking that way, does complete but short of the first down. Baxter on the catch. It was kept away by Burris.
And that was a no call by the official, at least from where I said it looked like he may have gotten there just a little bit soon, didn't it? Jeff Burris did, and if he had, it would have been an automatic first down, of course. And Rich Kotite deciding to try and cut the lead to within a 1-touchdown margin and not going for it here on 4th down and 1.
Instead, a 33-yard attempt for Lowry, who earlier hit from 26. Pick on the season, 6 of 7. Snap was bobbled. Lowry off the mark. Problem with the snap. So the holder is the punter, Ryan Hansen. Roger Duffy with the snap, low, trying to turn it around.
Really, Brian Hansen did a pretty nice job getting that one on the ground, but the timing of the play completely thrown off. And you try and be conservative, do the right thing, and it blows up in your face.
I do not drive to work. I do not drive to get from point A to point B. I do not drive to run away from the world. I just love to drive.
The new 1996 Monte Carlo. Personal space from genuine Chevrolet.
When Dave Thomas created Wendy's spicy chicken filet sandwich, he said, if we're going to make it spicy...
Well, it's a start.
Let's really make it spicy.
Now we're getting closer.
So he seasoned a whole chicken breast filet by adding his own special blend of pepper and spices. And he kept on seasoning until it was perfect.
Bingo.
Come and try Wendy's spicy chicken filet sandwich, because...
when you're hot, you're hot.
You make sure they get what's best for them during the day, but are you taking the same care at night? Introducing Sealy's most advanced Posturepedic ever for the support they need. Now, the only foundation made from steel beams, not wood, is redesigned to be even stronger. Now, Sealy has a more sensitive sense and respond coil system, and its patented sensory arm senses and cushions your movement, then responds to your weight with increasing support. Correct support. Posturepedic support, only from Sealy.
21 seconds left in the third quarter. Buffalo taking over first down at the 23-yard line after the botched field goal attempt. And this is Holmes finding the hole. He has terrific acceleration. Derek Holmes, who's averaging just under 5 yards per carry, stopped by Victor Green. He's carried 5 times for 31 yards. Picked up 9 more as this third quarter comes to a close. When we resume, Buffalo with a 2nd and 1. We'll be back after this from your local station.
Kurt Russell and Martin Short.
There are no Pirates of the Caribbean.
In the wackiest vacation movie of them all, Captain Ron, NBC Tonight.
In the beginning, the sisters sat down to their evening meal, but for some, it was their last supper. Then, all hell broke loose. But heaven sent an answer. Nonsense. It was such a big hit, the sisters are back with a brand new sequel. Nonsense 2.
Nonsense 2 is coming to Springfield Symphony Hall Friday, October 27th, sponsored by TV22 and Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile. Get tickets today at the Civic Center box office and Ticketmaster.
I got busy signals for an hour last night trying to call you.
Why are you playing hard to get?
I called you 10 times, Mom, and then I had to walk.
When right now, call waiting is so easy to get.
I spent an hour trying to reach you, and all I got was busy, busy, busy.
Call now and get free connection. You'll pay just $2.58 per month in Massachusetts, and you may never miss another call.
You got call waiting. Finally.
9X.
Judgment for plaintiff.
Plaintiff's lawyer, attorney Bill Christie.
Judgment for plaintiff.
Plaintiff's lawyer, attorney Bill Christie.
Attorney Bill Christie has been winning personal injury cases for over 20 years. With his experience and his top legal team, you can bet those big insurance companies don't want to face him in any courtroom.
If you've been in an accident, don't wait. Call me, and I'll handle your case personally.
Judgment for plaintiff.
Plaintiff's lawyer, attorney Bill Christie.
National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Back in Buffalo, fourth quarter getting underway. Marv Albert with Chris Collinsworth. The Bills 19, the Jets 10. Buffalo 2nd and 1, and a big hole for the first down. Thurman Thomas able to take advantage. Bobby Houston on the cover-up tackle. Setting the Bills offensive line, Kent Hull is the center. Jerry Ostrowski, Reuben Brown the tackles, John Pena, rather the guards, John Pena at the left tackle, and now Corey Lucci at right tackle in there for the injured Glenn Parker, hurt an ankle in the first half. Lonnie Johnson on the reception, tackled by the strong safety Todd Scott, and for Johnson his first catch. And a flag is down.
Offside, number 74, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, first down.
Well, that is the veteran left defensive end, Eric Howard, called on the penalty.
Yeah, remember what he was telling us yesterday? You asked him whether or not he'd ever been booed when he played with the Giants like he was last week in that game against the Raiders, and he said, no, we never got beat like that when I played with the Giants.
Always like to measure the booing effects. Players since Thurman Thomas surging for the first down. Matt Brock on the tackle. It's been a terrific day for Thurman Thomas, going over 100 yards for the first time in 15 games. 115 yards on 22 carries.
And really, this Bills offense has struggled today, but for Thurman Thomas. I mean, he has been the offense so far, so Thurman picked a good day to have a big day.
And the completion to Copeland on a Smith move at the 46. The right corner, Vance Joseph on the stop. Copeland is fourth catch of the day. For those who may have just tuned in, Andre Reed is out the rest of the way with a pulled hamstring. Earlier, Boomer Esiason went down, suffering a concussion after taking a hard hit from Bruce Smith. Kelly with the handoff to Thomas. And Thomas broke a tackle to pick up the first down, getting inside the 40. Lou Benquati on the stop.
And Marv, we're getting close to the point in the ball game with Thurman Thomas running the football the way that he is, that Jim Vecchiarelli, the defensive coordinator, is going to have to come out of these zone defenses and quit protecting the corners and bring 8-man up, stop them, force Jim Kelly to beat him through the air, because another field goal here makes it very difficult for the Jets to come back.
Right now, a 9-point lead for Buffalo. Almost picked off. Pass intended for Justin Armour. Aaron Glenn with a shot at it.
Aaron Glenn pleading his case for an interception, but it really wasn't even close. Nice break on the football, though, trying to run the slant pattern inside, and already you can see the difference. Never had control of the football, but you can see the confidence level of Aaron Glenn working against Justin Armour as opposed to when he was working against Andre Reed. Much closer and making better plays.
Glenn still looking for his first NFL interception. A wide-open Copeland. Flag is down as Copeland takes it out of bounds at the 22. Again, working against Joseph. An 18-yard advance if it holds up.
Vance Joseph falls down, but I believe he got pushed on the play by Russell Copeland, so this one should come back.
Illegal contact, number 43.
Wow.
Defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
Copeland comes down the field. Contact is definitely going to be made. And, you know, the arm extended, that to me looks like a push-off.
So a first down at the Jet 21. Thomas behind the left side, gets to the 18, met by Marvin Washington. Down to 12.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. Crowd of 79,485. This game is blacked out in Buffalo. Did not make the sellout cutoff in time. Well, it is a capacity crowd. Again, a flag is down. And Thomas is taken out of bounds.
Looked like one of the Jets may have moved just a little bit early. It was interesting talking to Jim Kelly yesterday. He feels that...
Offside, number 57. Defense. 5 yards, second down.
Mo Lewis on the offsides, but Kelly was telling us he feels that the biggest advantage the Bills offense has in this K-gun is they run the football better, which is not what you would expect because of the 3 wide receivers, and he said they would get the defense spread out a little bit, and for whatever reason, defense gets a little tired. We seem to run the ball better out of this K-gun formation.
And they have run for 160 yards thus far today. Second down and 2, and it's Thomas with another Buffalo first down. Lewis on the stop.
Ken Hall, the center, no question, their best offensive lineman. And when they get that push going on the left side, now you're seeing that big Reuben Brown, the rookie, and some of the power that he has. They're just taking the ball now, taking people, moving them back off the football. Thurman Thomas finding the holes.
First and goal at the 6. Thomas. Stacked up. Stopped by the Jets front 4. It'll be a second and goal at the 6-yard line.
A touchdown here makes it a 16-point game, and that makes it very difficult for Rich Kotite in this offense. So any chance, you really have to hold them out of the end zone right here.
Buffalo with a win today would propel to 4-1 with a home game against Seattle next week, then at New England, then at Miami. And it's Carwell Gardner. Gang tackle led by Mo Lewis. Carwell not carrying the ball very much this season. He's struggled as a runner and as a receiver. Usually considered a very strong blocker in the short yardage setup.
Yeah, and Derek Holmes can just do a little more. Gardner, a guy that was replaced this year by Derek Holmes, and Derek Holmes has certainly shown that he can not only block but run the football and catch it.
Third and goal from the 3, and Kelly's pass intended for Brooks, and a flag is down. The coverage provided by Glenn, and the call against the Jets.
12 men against the defense. 12 men against the defense. Half the distance from the goal line, third down.
All I think of, visions of Steeler head coach Bill Cowher.
Stuffing the picture in the
you have to agree that
Rich Kotite trying to get the timeout. He knew about the problem, but then it was too late, and the Jets mistakes continue to mount up.
And it is now a first and goal at the 1-yard line. And the Bills are going with a combination of Carwell Gardner and Tim Tyndale. Now full house backfield. You got Thurman Thomas out there also. Now they shift, and Thomas is the lone deep back. A lot of motion. It's Thomas. Touchdown. I would have to say that was a reward for Thurman Thomas.
It's been there all day, right behind the big guys, Ken Hall and Reuben Brown inside, and Reuben Brown, the rookie. The little celebration afterwards, and for Thurman Thomas, he earned that one. You're exactly right.
133 yards, 27 carries. That's the most he has gained rushing since back in the 1992 season. Steve Christie with the extra point. 9:51 left in the fourth, and the Bills with a 26-10 lead.
CMP Media at Radio Shack.
Introducing new Colonel's Crispy Strips from KFC. Juicy all-white meat chicken freshly prepared with our special extra tasty crispy recipe. Now you can get 3 Colonel's Crispy Strips, mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw and a biscuit, all for just $2.99.
Whatever you drive, Sears has the best selection of tires. And right now, they're all on sale at the only place with these top brands. All tires are on sale. So get in, get out, get going. Sears Auto Center.
There's an awesome power that can eliminate over half of our nation's defense forces. It's everywhere, and it can strike at any time. Who has this incredible power? You do. If you employ National Guard and Reserve members, you need to use your power wisely, because today, the Guard and Reserve make up over half of our country's defense. So when they need time off to serve, be a hero. Give them the freedom to protect ours.
Power football from the Buffalo Bills as they just displaced the defensive line of the Jets. Thurman Thomas with the touchdown, and no one happier about it than Derek Holmes, who really is taking on Thurman Thomas. Says he's like a big brother to me, and some of the personal problems this young man has had, he could use a big brother.
Yes, Derek Holmes with a younger brother back home in Pasadena, California, sitting in a jail cell awaiting trial for his alleged role in a gangland-related murder. Dexter Carter on the return. How's that for a transition? Yeah. The kickoff return. Dexter Carter goes 16 yards on the return. We'll be right back.
You and the Mitsubishi Galant. It's bound to be a positive relationship. After all, the Galant's dependable, good-looking, and it recognizes your need for space. Now's your last opportunity to lease a 95 Galant S for $0 down and $249 a month for 36 months. And only Mitsubishi adds $500 cash back. Proof you'll also be financially compatible. But hurry, this could be your last chance at happiness. The Galant from Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
In business, you can't always count on having enough time. But you can count on AT&T, because only AT&T guarantees you a competitive price. Our 1-800-COMPARE Center will give you an immediate side-by-side price comparison. And we're so sure that our prices are competitive that if you don't agree, we'll give you 1 month's worth of long distance up to $500. These days, you can't count on much, but you can count on AT&T for the life of your business.
When a traffic jam was 2 cars in the same town, Mobil Oil was there. When Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic, Mobil was on board. Mobil was in the world's first minivans, in the first space shuttle, and in the tanks of Desert Storm. We've been helping engines last for a long time. Mobil, changing oil for over 125 years.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. By AT&T, your true choice. And by Windows 95 from Microsoft. Where do you want to go today?
Back at Richard Stadium in Buffalo, Marv Albert and Chris Collinsworth with Thurman Thomas taking it in for the touchdown a moment ago. The Jets have now been outscored in the 4th quarter by the opposition 45-0. They are the only team in the NFL who are not able to score in the 4th quarter.
But you should stay and watch anyway.
Right. From the 26-yard line, the swing pass from Morrell. And works his way close to the 30, stopped by Smith. And Pop.
You know, the Jets are due. You can look at it that way. They haven't scored yet, but they're due.
Okay. Rich Kotite also due in terms of the win column. He has personally lost 11 of his last 12 games. That goes back to last year as head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. 2nd down and 6. Baxter in motion. Krister, able to peck it, and And the catch by Johnny Mitchell, the second reception of the day. Perry and Jones combine on the stop. And it is a Jet first down.
It's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens to Johnny Mitchell on this football team. Of course, spent all that money with Kyle Brady, the #1 draft pick, and the trade deadline coming up next Tuesday, I believe it is. Some speculation, maybe they try to make a deal, but for Johnny Mitchell, he's just happy to be back out on the field after all the back injuries that he suffered through. And we asked him about whether or not he wanted to be with the Jets, a little ambivalent in his response, but I'm sure if things worked out, he would be fine with it.
First down play for Brister, and it's picked off. Kurt Schulz on the interception and takes it inside the 30. Wayne Prevent with the tackle. Third interception of the season for Kurt Schulz in his 4th year out of Eastern Washington.
And pressure from Bruce Smith is what set that up. Bubby bailed just a little bit. And there, I believe, was a flag down on the play afterwards. I can't, another conversation going on. The ball right into Schulz's belly. But now the Bills defense coming off, so apparently it was at least against the Jets, or they picked up the flag or whatever.
Chris, getting back to the point about the, well, we'll get back to that point when we come back. Timeout call. Back in a moment.
Domino's presents Gus's Guide to the Game. The key to football is timing. Allow precisely 22 minutes for pregame warm-up. Then, make the right call. So you won't be starving at halftime.
And some rookies lost with your pizza.
Call for any ultimate deep dish at menu price. Thick and zesty, cheese melted to the edge, and get buffalo wings for $1.99. Delivered free.
Oh, God!
Right after the game, honey. Over into OT.
With up to 210 horsepower, it's got power to spare. The Eclipse from Mitsubishi. See your dealer for great lease offers on all Eclipses, including turbo models.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now and have Domino's deliver the ultimate deep dish pizza. Because when it's gotta be deep, it's gotta be Domino's.
Bubby Brister, not the first quarterback to have a conversation with Bruce Smith in that position, but the kinder, gentler Bruce Smith as he helps him to his feet.
And off the interception by Kurt Schulz. Stat line today for Bruce Smith. Buffalo taking over at the Jet 29-yard line. Holmes. Another nice run by Holmes. Short of a first down. Victor Green on the stop. Picked up 8. It'll be a 2nd and 2. But I started to say prior to that commercial break, you were talking about the possibility of Johnny Mitchell being on the trade block, the trade deadline coming up in the NFL on Tuesday. It is the one league, as opposed to baseball or the NBA or the NHL, where it is so difficult to get equal value for a standout player.
Yeah, generally you're giving guys that, for whatever reason, hasn't worked out with your club, and so it's hard to find the equal of that on somebody else's team.
Carwell Gardner with a first. Gardner has the first down and some more. Stopped by Mo Lewis. It's a 1st and 10 from the 11.
And this is a breakout game now for Reuben Brown, the rookie left guard of the Bills. He is beginning to dominate people up front, working in conjunction with Kent Hall, the center. They have been blowing huge holes open, and now Reuben Brown, out of the University of Pittsburgh, is beginning to make his mark in this league.
And he's the first-round pick of the Bills to start as a rookie since Shane Conlon back in 1987. Timeout taken by Jim Kelly. 6:43 to go in the fourth.
Mitsubishi Motors presents Diamonds in the Rough. This 7th-round draft pick seemed destined to play second fiddle to Redskins quarterback Heath Shuler. But last week, he conducted a stunning upset of the Dallas Cowboys. Who is this diamond in the rough?
With the power of 210 horses and the traction of all-wheel drive, it'll turn more than heads. The Eclipse from Mitsubishi. See your dealer for great lease offers on all Eclipses, including turbo models.
Redskins quarterback Gus Frerotte has proved for real. And last week he made believers of the heavily favored Cowboys by throwing for 192 yards with 2 touchdowns. Gus Frerotte, a true diamond in the rough.
There are a lot of good reasons for choosing the quiet company. Some are more important than others. When you have a new reason for wanting the most secure life insurance, talk to the quiet company. Northwestern Mutual Life.
Must-see TV, NBC. Tonight, it's the can't-miss Man About You.
Did you just say you were wrong?
I'm saying this is not the most right I've ever been.
You are...
With highlights of their hottest shows.
Kissing down your body. Hold on a second, I have another call.
A must-see Man About You, NBC tonight.
Reuben Brown out of the University of Pittsburgh, a guy that struggled in his college career early. He had charges, drug possessions, assault charges against him, but really turned his life around afterwards. I'll tell you more in a minute.
First and 10 down at the 11-yard line. Kelly with the long look to the end zone, and then a little bit too high for Russell Copeland, who is again working against Vance Joseph.
And Vance Joseph making the play last week against the Raiders. He was burned a couple of times on this sort of pass in the end zone, but this time in good position and just overthrown that one by Jim Kelly.
2nd and 10 at the 11. The Bills have run for 199 yards. The last time they ran for 200 yards, November of '92 against Atlanta. They've been led by Thomas and Holmes. And this is Holmes working his way inside the 10, brought down by Mo Lewis.
So now after that one, the Jets have allowed over 200 yards for the 2nd straight week, and that has been their sore spot throughout the course of the season. And obviously Marv Levy, Jim Kelly and company taking full advantage today.
Holmes has now run for 40 yards. It's a 3rd down and 8. Kelly throwing, incomplete. Intended for Copeland. This time covered by Lynn. And here comes the field goal unit on this 4th down and about 8.
Confusion between Copeland and Jim Kelly. Copeland running a corner route. Kelly thinking he was going on the slant, threw it back inside, and from the way that Jim Kelly came off the field, well, now he's jawing with Copeland on the sideline, and Copeland not saying anything back, so I'm assuming that he was wrong.
28-yard field goal for Steve Christie. 5 of 6 on the day for Christie, and the Bills up 29-10.
Dad?
Yeah?
There's something I want to tell you.
What is it, son?
Well, Dad, you're my dad. And I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light, Johnny.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Ray, forget it, Johnny.
Geez, I gotta get to a hardware store.
Building something?
Sink's leaking.
Sink's leaking. Talk to Bernie.
Bernie?
Bernie knows plumbing.
Where does Bernie go?
True Value.
True Value.
Official hardware store of the NFL.
Official?
Official.
True Value, the official hardware store of the NFL. Yes, it's official. Get this GE 3-way twin pack with free battery, just $247, and 3M Scotchgard fabric protector, only $447.
You and the Mitsubishi Galant. It's bound to be a positive relationship. After all, the Galant's dependable, good-looking, and it recognizes your need for space. Now's your last opportunity to lease a 95 Galant S for 0 down and $249 a month for 36 months. And only Mitsubishi adds $500 cash back. Proof you'll also be financially compatible. But hurry, this could be your last chance at happiness. The Galant from Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
1995 has truly been a year to remember in golf. From Corey Pavin's incredible triumph in the U.S. Open to Tom Weisskopf's emotional victory in the Senior Open to Annika Sorensen's win in the Women's Open, it's been a remarkable year. The 1995 USGA Year in Review, next Saturday on NBC.
Well, the Jets able to hang around in the first half. A late touchdown at the end of the second quarter gave the Bills a 16-3 lead, and now the Bills on their way seemingly to a methodical victory as Dexter Carter returns and is able to hang on to the football. Rick Evans making the stop. Bills now lead the Jets 29-10 with 5:45 to go in this fourth quarter.
It was really Dexter Carter's fumble just before the end of the first half that blew this football game open. The Jets defensively had played very well in the first half, and then Carter fumbled the kickoff with only a few seconds remaining in the half. Jim Kelly hit the easy touchdown pass, and deflated Jet team had to go in at halftime down 16-3.
And Bubby Brister with that impressive drive that was capped off by the touchdown pass to Wayne Corbett. And Brister's pass incomplete.
Been impressed today with the play of Thomas Smith at the cornerback position. Had a few balls caught on him, but for the most part, he's been right there and playing in man coverage, and he's given Charles Wilson a very difficult day. That's about as good a coverage as you can get. Great athlete, vertical jump over 42 inches, and Thomas Smith certainly a bright spot as they have young players out there on the corner. Jeff Burris on the other side.
Come back strong last year, struggled as a first-time starter at the corner. Second down and 10, and Brister is taken down. Smith and Jeffco combining. Smith, who had a sack earlier. Jim Jeffco, the former Dallas Cowboy who has meant so much to this Buffalo defense.
And don't forget working against Everett McIver. I mean, that's a knockout. That's the only way to put it. McIver just put on his back, and Bruce Smith puts Bubby on his back. And you could tell talking to Bruce yesterday, though, he was looking forward to this one. He thought his stat numbers were going to go up today.
Fourth sack of the day by the Bills, 3 against Brister. And that overthrow intended for Trebek, covered by Smith.
I knew, though, when we asked Bruce Smith about McIver, and he said, well, you know, he has the ability to be an NFL player. That was about as weak as I've heard. Bruce Smith has plenty of sacks against everybody, but the New York Jets his favorite target.
I don't think anyone has kept statistics in that area, but I don't think anyone else in the history of the league has more sacks against a particular team. Punt by Hansen, taken by Burris, and Burris able to work his way to the 48-yard line, a 42-yard punt, and a 9-yard return. Roger Duffy on the tackle. Well, coming up next on most of these NBC stations, game 2 of our doubleheader. Most of you will see The NFL's only undefeated team, the Miami Dolphins, going up against Marshall Faulk and the Indianapolis Colts. Others will see the Browns and the Lions at the Silverdome. Browns trying to put the clamps on Barry Sanders. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Todd Collins has come on, replacing Jim Kelly. Stat line not impressive today. Kelly 9 of 22, 94 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but one of those days where the Buffalo Bills did it on the ground thanks to the combination of Thurman Thomas and Derek Holmes. And here's Holmes. Todd Collins, a second-round draft pick, rookie from Michigan. Did not have an impressive preseason. Intercepted 4 times, sacked 9 occasions. The feeling was at the time he was slow to make the reads. And here in Buffalo, there was a question as to why Marv Levy went with Todd Collins as the backup rather than Alex Van Pelt, who had a better preseason. Van Pelt in his second year out of Pittsburgh. But the feeling is that you can only give so much work to 2 quarterbacks. Right. And they want Todd Collins to get the work looking to the future. I'm talking about during the week when they're going through all the reps. Here's Holmes. Stopped by Douglas. Alex Van Pelt, who Jim Kelly was telling us is nicknamed very affectionately Pill for, as he put it, the Pillsbury Doughboy. Because of what, the double chin he pointed out. These are all the words of Jim Kelly. We are strictly the messenger here.
That's right. And don't shoot the messenger.
Right.
We had, for Todd Collins, his nickname is Junior because they said that, you know, physically very talented, probably emotionally not quite there yet for the NFL. More of the still back in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
3rd and 1. And Holmes, ball carrier.
Pill. That's a rough nickname right there now. I mean, they don't even give you the full Pillsbury.
Yeah.
Just Pill.
And for the first time today, they are calling for the yardsticks. Well, Houston and Minnesota tied at 17. Jacksonville trying to make it 2 straight wins. Cincinnati and Tampa Bay now tied up at 16. Carolina with a 27-24 lead on the Bears.
Expansion teams getting it done.
Philly coming from behind, leading Washington. First down.
Rodney Peete in there, quarterback for Philadelphia.
So the Bills with a first down at the Jet 36-yard line as we approach 3 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. And the Bills up 29-10. Next week, Buffalo home for Seattle, while the Jets play at Carolina next Sunday, and then they have a home game against Miami. And the handoff to Holmes. Holmes able to get a good block, broke a tackle, has a first down. Douglas downfield to make the tackle. 11 carries, 60 yards for the rookie from Portland State, Derek Holmes. A look at the upcoming schedule for Buffalo, Seattle, then at New England, at Miami, another road game at Indianapolis. Unusual schedule for Buffalo. They end the season with 2 home games against Miami and Houston. Now that could be significant.
As they would like it, getting a dome team and a warm weather team.
And a first down at the 26-yard line. Collins with the handoff. Gardner picks up a couple. Victor Green there for the stop. 2 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. We'll be back in Buffalo in a moment.
When you're Barry Sanders, one of the quickest men in the NFL, some days it seems like no one can touch you. No one can catch you. No one can even come close.
Anyway, coming through. Men on the Mickey D's mission. Sausage McMuffin with egg, 4-minute milers coming through.
Now you can convert $2 into 2 morning fresh sausage McMuffins with egg, or 2 hot, tempting quarter pounders with cheese. But the clock's ticking, so hurry.
Hey, look who's here.
Hey, Louis Leslie. Slow-mo Joe.
Barry Sandbag.
You got the winning color.
I drive oversized loads.
And I drive the warning vehicle, the flag car.
I've been using Pennzoil for about 17 years.
Most people will trade their car with what, 60,000 miles on it. We could have gone through 7 cars.
Now with the revolutionary Penn-Star molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
You could say it's been working overtime for us.
Engine problems? Before you try a tune-up, try Gum Out first. The solution could be less than $5.
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies!
Coming up next, Game 2 of an NFL on NBC doubleheader. Dan Marino leads the league's only undefeated team, the Dolphins, against the extraordinary Marshall Faulk and the Colts. Barry Sanders and the Lions host the Cleveland Browns, or the Seahawks collide with the Raiders. The NFL on NBC. Made in America, played in America. Game 2 next.
Magnificent day for Thurman Thomas, being congratulated by Bruce Smith. 27 rushes, 133 yards. The best day he has had since the '93 AFC title game when he ran for 185 yards against Kansas City. And as we mentioned earlier, the best regular season game since 1992. That's Holmes on the carry, and the flag is thrown. He ran for 142 yards against the Jets back in '92. He's had some huge days against the Jets. Also a bad day last year. One offside call against the Jets. Remember, he had that 7-yard rushing day when the Jets were able to beat Buffalo here on opening day last year.
Marv, the guy that he was standing next to, Bruce Smith, also a milestone today, is 1.5 sacks. Now 4th place all-time on the sack list. So a good day overall for the smiling Bruce Smith.
Thurman Thomas, it is now 8 100-yard games against the Jets. 41 for his illustrious career. Just under 2 minutes remaining. Again, the flag thrown. Tim Tyndale carries the ball for the first time. A first-year player out of Western Ontario University.
Offsides against the Jets once again.
Offside, number 74 defense, lined up in the 5 yards, first down.
That is Eric Howard again on the penalty.
Eric Howard, and he's seen a bunch of Reuben Brown on the other side. And just to finish my point on Reuben Brown, because it's really a nice story, the left guard for the Bills, he had assault charges against him, possession charges against him, and he gives credit to Buddy Morris, the University of Pittsburgh strength coach, for helping turn his life around. And now, in turn, Reuben Brown has helped Buddy Morris. Morris's daughter has a rare liver disease, and Brown has started to fund to make sure that she has the very best of treatment, and it's going to be a long road for her and her trying to recover, but Reuben Brown certainly playing a role in trying to help with that.
And apparently the Buffalo Bills took a knee. Todd Collins just deciding, or being told by Marv Levy, not to run up the score, and the Bills are just going to run it out with 1 minute and 15 remaining. Jets not calling any timeouts, as you'd expect, down 29-10. This one is over, and some compassion being shown by the Buffalo Bills. The crowd disagreeing with the philosophy of Marv Levy, but a nice gesture. There are other coaches who might not have played it this way.
Yeah, but I think that anytime you're playing a team in your division and you know you have to see them again before the year's up, you want to take the classy way out. But this wasn't a horrible day for this team defensively. In the first half, they hung in there with the Buffalo Bills. They got the big fumble by Carter. A much scrappier effort than what they got a week ago anyway.
And now the Jets, who will go to 1-5 in their 6 games, have allowed 178 points in 6 games. And this one is over. Time running down. The Bills go to a record of 4-1 as they will come away with a 29 29-10 victory. And the question first, the consideration is the physical status of Boomer Esiason, but if he is okay for next week, there will be a question as to who will be the starting quarterback, because Bubby Brister did show some signs here today. So the final score here at Rich Stadium, the Bills over the Jets 29-10. Stay tuned for the second half of today's NFL on NBC doubleheader. That about wraps it from Rich Stadium. For Chris Collinsworth, I'm Marv Albert saying so long from Buffalo. Again, the final, the Bills 29, the Jets 10.
NBC Thursday, the night you've come to count.